What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. I am your host, LeRon Dawkins, and I hope you are ready because tonight we have some big topics coming your way. Team Crossroads is here to talk all things PlayStation and gaming this week, and here with me, as always, is Austin Campbell, the resident PlayStation doctor here for the network. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? It's good to be here.
All right, Chris has the night off, but we do have a special guest, and I mean that lovingly, not in that sarcastic way. No stranger to Team Crossroads, and one of the biggest personalities here at Boss Rush, our very good friend, and sometimes referred to as, what is that, the mayor of a Deepstone Crypt? Is that it?
That is, in fact, it.
Welcome, Josh Finney, back to the show, everyone.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, you're always welcome here, and you're here on a good night too. I mean, it's a great night. It's a great night for gamers. It's a great night for PlayStation gamers because like some hot news just came out, and nobody can ignore this shit.
Yeah.
Nobody can ignore it.
Some news? I feel like a nuke got dropped on us.
For real, yeah.
And I don't think they've stopped either. They're gonna keep coming at this point.
Yeah, if Jeff Keighley's words this afternoon are any indication, yeah, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I saw that, and and Jim Ryan's kind of feeling himself too. So it sounds like some stuff's going on.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys doing so far this week? It's only Tuesday. Oh, and by the way, for everybody out there that celebrates it, Happy Lunar New Year! It's the year of the tiger. So may good luck and good fortune be with you. Hopefully, if you do celebrate and you have family that do this thing, like hopefully it gave you one of those nice red envelopes with some dollar bills in it, y'all. I got some.
I hope we will have Stephanie on the show at some point so she can accurately describe the lunar year, the zodiac calendar. Story, which I butchered last week.
You did a good job because I did look it up, and some of the stuff that you said actually did line up and stuff like that. So you did it justice.
Sagwa taught me well. Okay, it's just a long time ago what Sagwa taught me.
Yep. How you guys doing?
Man, doing great. It's gonna be a cold week here, I think, for both Austin and I. But I'm very ready.
Virginia's gonna get some of that shit too. We just had nor'easter just like leave our asses, and another winter storm is coming our way. Like this would be like literally the third weekend in a row.
Mm. Yeah, I was telling Austin this before we got rolling. As you were running in, there's an exposed pipe in my hallway.
Oh shit!
And I've been trying to. It's been there for like 3 weeks, right? And I've been trying to get them to insulate it. And I went by the office today, even personally, and was like, y'all planning on doing anything? Like, yeah. They should be out there, covering it up today, if all goes well. And so every hour on the hour, I've been poking my head out in the hallway and nobody's been down there. And I'm just getting I'm half tempted to drive to Lowe's or Home Depot in the morning, buy a roll of insulation and wrap it up myself. Because I'm so terrified that it's going to break out to Austin. I says, when I get up in the morning, I'm calling my rental insurance. I'm increasing my liability coverage. I'm putting towels in front of my door because there is a solid chance there's a broken pipe in that hallway come Thursday night.
Jesus Christ.
Is your water bill included with your rent? Could you just leave the water running the whole time? Could you?
Oh, I mean, I don't do a drip. I do a very tiny sliver of water.
Yeah.
On mine because my bill is never that expensive.
Right.
Living in an apartment, so I'm doing that. I know the people who live down the hallway are actually going to be home. So they'll have their heat turned on. They're like, yeah, we'll probably turn up the heat a little bit more and, turn our water on just a little bit more than we normally would. I think with all of that, because most of the pipe is covered, it's like, it's a big square that's kind of cut out, like a big rectangle. But the pipe, like the insulation covers about half of it that's uncovered from the drywall. The insulation goes about halfway down and there's the big white pipe, and then there's a little tiny thing that comes out down at the bottom. Little black coil pipe almost, it looks like. Kind of looks like the pipe on the back of a toilet almost. I don't know anything about plumbing, so I'm describing this like just what the naked eye sees. And there's been a leak that's been coming from somewhere down there for like a year, probably, since before the last winter storm. We thought this was all taken care of. It's not. We're getting a little concerned.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'd be concerned too.
They power washed our hallway over the summer, and water came into my apartment because the seal apparently isn't great on the bottom of my front door. So I'm like, okay, Wednesday night when I go to bed, I'm unplugging my monitor. I'm pulling all my power cords up off the ground.
Whoa, is it that bad?
Well, my desk is literally right inside the door.
Oh, okay.
So, like, when the water came in during the summer, it came in my entire entryway and was, like, snaking its way into the office. It was literally, like, less than 3 feet away from hitting my extension cables. Or my surge protector, excuse me. So, I've got that. It got all in my front closet. It went into my kitchen. I'm like, oh, God, I'm so concerned. So I'm going to bed. Or when I get up Thursday morning, really, not even when I go to bed Wednesday. When I get up Thursday morning, I'm just putting towels in front of the door. Just like right away, because it will hit freezing like around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It's not until it gets to like the low 20s that I'm like actually going to get concerned. Because I mean, it's a big ass pipe. Like we had a leak last year that barely sprung in our building, but that's because we were below 15 for like 4 days straight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The great snowpocalypse in Texas. Yeah.
And that was in the sprinkler room. So that was the other concern. And they're just like, it's not going to be that bad this time. But snowpocalypse aside, preparations aside, I'm good. I've got the necessary rations. I've got food. I've got milk. I've got eggs. I've got a lot of beer. I'm good.
You said I got a lot of beer.
I got a fresh bottle of scotch.
The bare necessity. Hey, scotch keep you warm.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's great that scotch can keep me warm. Can it keep my floors dry, though? That's the concern. Listen, I am not a small man, okay? I'm not worried about getting cold. I'll have a cat on my lap while I'm sitting there trying to play Destiny, worrying about what's going on 3 doors down.
Hey, if anything, the Xbox will keep you warm too.
Dude, I'm going to turn that and the PS5 on and just turn them towards the bed. I'm gonna go find a used PS4 launch edition tomorrow and just like put it at the foot of my bed on Wednesday night.
That's what I was gonna say. Just get you a PS4 for sure.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, though, seriously, it's a great week. It's a great time to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. But my week's been okay. Like, I mean, things are the dust is finally starting to settle from the move. As you see, my studio behind me is well lit. And by studio, I'm in my bedroom. It's well lit now and stuff like that.
I mean, what's the difference?
I mean, you know, honestly, like I felt like a month after my move, I would have already had my YouTube studio room out ready. Because I mean, I don't know. Like I'm tired of y'all seeing my bedroom. I'm tired of y'all seeing my bed because you know every now and then when someone's on the bed, then everybody's got questions. Everybody's like, who that?
Isn't the bedroom just your studio for OnlyFans? Like, isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't have a ring light, so there's a problem.
OnlyFans or only sleeves.
As you see, I'm actually wearing some sleeves today.
Genuinely, this may be the first time that I've ever seen you with sleeves.
The first time you've seen me. No, it's been a thing for a while because like truth be told, I still haven't completely unpacked all my stuff and everything. So there's one box where all my tank tops and muscle shirts are at, and I just have not gotten to it yet. Like I have just enough unpacked, so like I have stuff to work out in. So the workout clothes, I can't just recycle those and wear those without washing them, you know. So so there's that. I'll be back in uniform soon, I promise.
Sponsored tank tops.
Well, I mean, our merch store has tank tops and muscle shirts, you know. I've been trying to tell Corey to go ahead, man, design us some stringer tank tops and stuff, you know, like one false move and you see nipple, you know, that's what I want.
One false move, you're banned from Twitch.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
We like to play it fast and loose over here.
Oh man. Oh man. All right. Well, I think we said enough to get this show started. So how
10
about we do
minutes
some
in,
housekeeping?
we've talked about booze and nipples. Yeah, it's starting off great.
Hey. It's not an episode of Crossroads if we're not talking about the adult stuff.
it's true. It's true. Crossroads was just Boss Rush After Dark before Boss Rush After Dark.
Before Boss Rush After
really
Dark happened. We were the tester show. We had to test it. Oh. And you know what? Corey played it safe because we were testing it out on my Twitch channel.
This actually goes along with what I'm being roasted for. Do you want to hear what I'm being roasted for?
Yeah, let's have it. What's up?
So my friend, we're in a D&D chat, and my friend sent a TikTok where this kid, which I now know, played the Pornhub music for a high school talent show. And I didn't get it.
Wait. Did he play it live, or was he like a DJ?
Yeah, he played it live. Oh. He had a full drum, and he played like this 2-second bit or whatever. And everyone was going wild, like, "Oh my gosh, he did it!" And I was like watching it. It's like I don't get it. And they're like, "If you've never watched porn," I was like, "No, I have. I guess I didn't watch Pornhub, I guess." And they're like, "So you just been watching Great Value porn this whole time? You've been watching oldie version porn this whole time?"
Wait. Explain Great Value. Explain.
Like,
are we talking about VHS?
No, it's not name brand porn. It's just it's like regular porn sites that isn't Pornhub.
Brand porn. Jesus Christ!
So I'm getting roasted.
It's the homemade shit.
I guess. I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, Austin. So I know you're way too young for this, but man, this is like you have the freaking old cable box and you're watching the scrambled stuff.
Yeah, that's as close as I got. Like I'd look up what movies have the end.
I was about to say he's copied scenes from Risky Business and he's watching them.
Yeah. I watched Hot Tub Time Machine 12 times just for the nipples.
Dude, you want some porn adjacent stuff? Just watch Basic Instinct. The Sharon Stone at the when she was getting interrogated by the police. That scene alone.
Oh,
you watched the unrated American Pie trilogy.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Let me tell you something. When you were left at home alone when you were 16, you were living the high life there, okay?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. God.
Oh, every time I was looking for it. And then my mom, she got smart. She started blocking all the nudity in all the shows because she knew someone was watching it.
She knew somebody was watching.
And it definitely was
and me. It ain't me!
But yeah, now I know what the Pornhub sound is. I did not know before.
Oh, I bet you do know now.
They were roasting me so hard. They're like, you've never watched Pornhub? I was like, I guess not. I don't think so. I don't remember this. I don't remember this bit.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, if you have ad blocker installed on your if you have ad blockers installed on your browser, you won't hear that. You won't hear.
You think there's ad blocker on my PS Vita, LeRon? Really? Do you think there's an ad blocker?
He's watching it on the Vita.
Do you think there's an ad blocker on my Nintendo 3DS?
Hey, Josh, when privacy counts, you watch it on a mobile device. It doesn't matter if it's a gaming system or
That's all I've got time for today. I've got to get back to playing Animal Crossing on my Nintendo 3DS.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely used my Nintendo 3DS. That was the first time I actually tried to look for it.
Austin's over here doing the Greg Miller special. Yeah. Quick swapping between Jeepo porn and Patapon.
And I don't know. Okay, so because I know somebody out there swears up and down Austin is like this wholesome young man. This there's nothing wholesome about this.
I am now. I have been very wholesome for a few years now, especially since.
Oh, is that married life? Is that married life?
But as a teenager and as freshly into college, I was a very horny individual, and that got corrected. I think I actually outused my dick. I think that's what it was.
Jesus Christ!
I beat it so much that it's just like it's like whatever at this point.
It's like he goes to unzip his zipper and a white flag immediately starts waving from the zipper.
You know those movies where they bring like the old guy from the CIA back out of retirement? That's my dick when I have sex now. It's like, all right, it's time to break it out.
Bible man is watching Austin.
It's like the old lady from Titanic. It's been 83 years.
Jesus Christ! What is happening?
Welcome back, Josh.
Oh yeah, great to be here, guys.
Welcome to Boss Rush After Dark.
This is your preview because you haven't been on After Dark yet. I would know.
Actually, I have. I was on.
No. I was talking to Josh.
Oh.
I was talking to Josh.
Oh. Well, what's funny is like Boss Rush After Dark. I was like, all right, I got some crazy stuff. You know, I'm ready.
And Corey trumped you.
It ended up being a really sad episode. I was like,
yeah, Corey trumped you.
This is not going the way I thought it was going.
Never a good sign.
I love Corey. Josh, you've known Corey longer than I have.
I have.
I didn't know Corey had so many emotions.
It's always an interesting event to know which way that Corey is going to go. It's usually jubilant. The unexpected jubilance is fantastic. You know, I'll log on to do an episode of Tower Casuals and you know, he'll ring me and, you know, I'll log on and it takes me usually a second to get my microphone turned on. And he's like, as soon as he sees that I'm on, he's like, oh, Josh! It's like he's a kid seeing me in the airport for the first time, like since the war or something. I don't know.
Since the war.
Like, I think this is how I sounded when my dad came home from the Middle East when I was like 4.
Since the last campaign in Destiny. All right, y'all.
PlayStation guys.
I know. This is Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast,
where you can both beat games and dicks.
Yeah,
exactly.
At the same time, if you got to beat them.
Jesus Christ!
All right. One more time for the people that didn't hear us in the back. This is Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast of Boss Rush Games. Every week we come together bringing you the latest news, rumors, games, and your discussion in the world of PlayStation. Crossroads airs live on twitch.tv/Xs803 Tuesday evenings, normally at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't catch the show live, head over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of the other podcast locations that you may want to check out our show. Recaps of this show airs every following Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Xs803, as well as early Thursday mornings at youtube.com/BossRushNetwork. If you want to see a previous episode of our show, all episodes of Crossroads can be found on bossrush.net. If you like the show, please consider subscribing to the podcast and give us a follow on Twitch. And remember to share, rate, and review us wherever you check out the show. Okay, guys. Now we've gotten all the pleasantries out the way. It's time to talk about what we've been playing. So, Josh, you're a guest tonight, so go first, man. What have you been playing, or what have you been checking out? Like any good TV, any movies? Like, you know, you're an anime fan, so bring us a scoop if you got them.
Oh my god, anime! Yeah, I've been really into this season of Demon Slayer. It's about to wrap up. It's been pretty good. Been enjoying that a lot, and I actually just played through the Mass Effect trilogy for the very first time.
Okay.
So I know that's a franchise near and dear to your heart.
Wait, excuse me? Run that by me again?
I've never played the Mass Effect trilogy before. I played one way back in the day, but literally all I remembered was that if you do things wrong, the space racist kills Rex. So
true.
I went in completely unspoiled to the entire franchise, essentially.
Okay.
I will have you all know that I made it out of number 2 with everybody alive in the suicide mission.
On the first try?
On the first try, because I pay attention to what my teammates can do.
Okay.
And then got through 3 with only the deaths that were scripted to happen. So
okay. Oh, not bad.
Felt really good about that. Went with the destroy ending. Broke my heart, but went with that, and my war points were high enough that I got the secret scene at the end. Very, very excited to see what they do with 4. Tried playing Andromeda, and it's ass. And not the good kind. It's just bad. It's like, it's weird because it's like, it's not like a bad game, it's a bad Mass Effect game.
Yeah.
It's a very bad Mass Effect game.
Yeah, it just wasn't put together well.
No, it's not. It feels like something that, like, this was like the first complete iteration of it that they had, and they didn't do like any story or character revisions, and they were like, well, here you go, this is what you get. So cool. None of the characters resonated with me. Like, I would be hard pressed to be able to make a top 5 without excluding somebody amazing of the original cast. That's how good it was. Like, Garrus and Rex were my guys whenever I could have them. I love, you fall in love with Grunt, with Tali, with Liara. I went down the romance path with Miranda.
I think the only character in Andromeda that probably even resonates with people is PB, and this is because she's accidentally cool.
I did not get far enough into the game to care about her. I spent the whole time wishing I could kick her out the airlock.
Is that the pilot?
No. PB is the Asari.
Okay, it's just I only played Andromeda once.
It's so hard to go from.
Are you talking about the red? You talking about the redhead chick? That's the pilot.
Yeah. Because I actually like her character.
I actually did like her character. Yeah. I think it's just so hard to go from a game where, because I did 3 and then I immediately went into Andromeda the next day. And it's so hard to go from a game that made me feel so many emotions. I saved the Citadel DLC for the very end. I did that, then I went and finished the game. And to see all of these character storylines pay off game over game, and that your experience is different depending on who lives, is incredible. Like, there's not a character with the arc of Thane. There's not someone with the redemption of Morden or Miranda. There's a game full of Jacobs.
Yeah.
There's a game full of whoever Freddie Prinze Jr. is in Mass Effect 3.
Vega.
Yeah, people that I just could not care any less about.
Right.
Yeah, I did hate that it seemed like Mass Effect 3 had the most throwaway characters. Like, it's kind of sad to say because, like, there was well, for one thing, they kind of did Vega justice by giving them the Mass Effect Paragon Lost, that anime movie. But
see, I haven't watched that yet.
It's pretty good. Because God, it's been a while. I can't remember what because it's something he directly mentions in the game, and then the movie comes out and you see that.
Yeah, from what I understand, it takes place a couple years before 3, I believe.
Yeah.
It takes place like before 2, like the space in between 1 and 2, I think, because I think it deals with the collectors.
It deals. Actually, wait. I think it deals with collectors or deals with the elusive man getting the remains of the stuff from the collectors.
That may be it. It's so hard for me to go to a game that is supposed to be in the same series, but when you had antagonists like Saren and the elusive man, and then you get whatever Andromeda is. It felt really bad. And also, like, I mean, just the threat of the aliens that you fight in Andromeda, it's like, Destiny did this better and cooler and 3 years sooner. So with the Fallen. So I don't know. This isn't going to be me bitching about Mass Effect Andromeda. We've got really cool things to talk about tonight, but Mass Effect Trilogy, one of the single greatest gaming experiences I've ever had. Got the Legendary Edition at Christmas for like $20 on Black Friday. Don't regret that it came to Game Pass at all right after I broke it out of the cellophane. I played through those games in like a marathon week and a half session, I think.
Damn.
And that is just... Well, I mean, when you're on call to take care of your mom, like 24/7, and, she's basically in a rehab hospital, can't walk or anything, there's only so many rounds of cards you can play. So, coming home, my girlfriend works nights, of course, so I had a bunch of late nights trying to get through the games, but I'm also a completionist. I gotta do every quest. I gotta see every possible ending. I want everybody to have the best outcome, but it's one of those rare games that actually makes you feel something for the characters.
Yeah.
And I guess I shouldn't say rare, but like actually made me like visibly emotional. When you're on Tachanka in Mass Effect 3, and I mean, it's been out for a decade. I don't feel bad about spoiling things. When you're on Tachanka in 3 and you're about to go on the final mission to cure the genophage, and Rex basically, if you stayed loyal to him through all 3 games, that is the biggest payoff I've ever seen in a video game. Rex embracing you and saying his speech to you, it gets to be emotional thinking about it. Like every single Krogan born from this day forward will know the word shepherd means brother, means hero.
Yes,
you are a hero to our people. You are a brother to me. You welcome me as one of your own, and I embrace you as a brother here and now, basically. And then Morden's sacrifice, and how Rex, who hates the Solarians, and still names his first son after Morden. The way things come full, so Thane's sacrifice, and how that sticks with Shepard for the back half of the game. Like, Thane is one of 3 people that you see potentially, not even potentially, you see Anderson, you see him, and then you see whoever your love interest is at the end of the game. But the fact that Thane's arc is that important to the series, and it's probably the best arc, frankly.
And what's crazy about that is Thane wasn't even a playable character in Mass Effect 3. Like,
he's not even a playable character, and
his arc in the game was so strong, though. I mean, he was from the moment you set foot in the Citadel, he was a presence there.
He's a presence there, and like doing everything in 2 pays off in 3. If you did all the loyalty missions, everything is different. People live or die depending on if you did those, and I don't know, like Jack's story comes full circle. Joker gets an arc. Edie gets an arc. It's incredible. Like Legion's sacrifice for the Quarians.
I cannot figure out which one broke my heart worse: Legion's sacrifice or Morden's sacrifice. I can't tell. I can't.
For me, it's Morden. For me, it's absolutely Morden. That's a guy who completely redeemed himself from who he was when you rescue him in 2. When you recruit him in 2.
I don't know. I always like Morden from the start. Like,
I liked him, but I think
what they say about him? He's a doctor that can just as easily cure you as in like slit your throat with a scalpel.
For me, it was just like he goes on this him and Thane. I mean, you could insert any number of characters. Garrus could be inserted in Tali. Could undergo these incredible transformations. Tally's basically a teenager when you meet her, and she's essentially leading her people at the end of 3, and that's only 2.5 years. That's 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That is wild to me. Like her name is literally changed to be Tali Voss Normandy.
Yep.
That's incredible. It's just this. I could gush for hours about Mass Effect, so I won't. But I'm so glad I sat down and played them. I went in completely unspoiled. I didn't know who any of these people were outside of Garrus and Rex. They were the 2 I remember, and I knew Liara from when the announcement trailer came out for Mass Effect 4. I will be eagerly awaiting it with everybody else now, hoping, praying that is the Normandy SR4 or whatever we're on at this point in the teaser poster.
I'm just praying they don't fuck it up.
Do not make it tie into Andromeda, and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
If Garrus is not there, we riot.
It's true. Yeah.
Somebody has to do the calibrations, okay?
All right, Austin. Well, you're up now. What you been playing?
I mean, I don't know if I can top Mass Effect with it.
You better try. No, I'm just messing.
No, I mean Mass Effect. I played the first one, a couple weeks ago when I had COVID, and I just sat through and played the first one. And I told myself I'd wait and play the next 2 because I've played it before, and now Josh has already got me wanting to play the second one again. Anyway, but I got Uncharted 4 and the Lost Legacy collection. I paid the $10 to get the upgrade. Mm-hmm. I was going to get it on disc.
I should just go ahead and pay the $10. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm thinking about buying the collected edition. Maybe it's just because I need another PlayStation 5 actual game in my library.
Well, I wanted the disc, and I was like, I could probably get it for $40 at Walmart. But then I was like, if I just pay the $10 now, and they'll be on sale for like $20 eventually on disc, I'm sure, and then I'll be paying less. So I'm just like, I'm gonna go ahead and get the $10 upgrade.
Makes
call
sense.
it good. I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't want to get out of my house. That's really the answer. But so I'm playing through Uncharted 4. I'm on chapter 8 out of 22, so about third of the way through the game, and it's really, really beautiful. I put in fidelity mode and started playing it that way because it's just like awestruck. It looks gorgeous. I know when a game looks good because Katie will say something about it. Because she'll ask me like, or she'll say like, "Man, games are crazy now," or something like that, and I'll be like, "Yeah, that's how I know a game looks good." Because it's not just to me who's seen like a ton of games. Like I play games all the time, and she sees them all the time. But if she comments, then I know it's something that's catching not just the gamer's eye, but other people's eyes as well. However, once I stopped walking and started shooting, people, I was like, I have got to put this in performance mode because this is hard. This is like, this 30 frames per second is killing me. It is so... I don't remember Uncharted 4 controlling so weird when I played it on PS4. Like, I really don't. And I'm like, man, this is not... So I put it in performance mode, get the 120 frames per second, and I'm like, oh, this is leagues better. Right. So now I'm like, anytime I get to like a set piece, I'll put it back into fidelity mode, or like when I'm just walking around or whatever. And then when I go back into the action part, I'm like, all right, put it back in performance mode.
At least it's not one of those games that makes you close it down and restart the game when you change it.
Oh yeah.
Like Forza Horizon 5 does that to you, and it's so jarring.
Spider-Man Miles Morales did that too, where it was like, you had to at least roll back to a checkpoint.
Yeah, your TV will black out for like a split second, but that's all it's ever gonna do. And
I mean, that's fine. I would rather have that than have to reboot the whole thing.
True. Yeah.
So I'm playing through 4. I'm still really loving it. I'm like remembering all this stuff and how much I love Nathan as a character, and even Sam I'm starting to like more, I think, in this time through than I did the first one. Sully, of course, and Elena and all that. So Nadine, I just got in a fight with Nadine when Nathan meets Nadine for the first time.
You mean when Nathan gets
his no matter
ass
what
whipped?
you do, she just whips your ass. Just whip your ass.
I love Uncharted 4 so much. You're reminding me why I love it so much. Because it feels like the most personal of the series to me.
Yeah.
Like, Nate is very much on his own, aside from Sam in this game. Mm-hmm. There's no Elena running to the rescue every other mission. There's no Sully running and gunning with you or showing up to help out a whole lot. Like, it's very much, it's the Drake brothers. It's great.
Yeah.
That's how you come back and expand upon an already incredible trilogy. I don't know Lost Legacy. I've never played Lost Legacy.
Well, and that I haven't either. Lost Legacy is one that, like, when that game came out, I was not playing as many games because I was in college, and so when that one, I definitely plan on playing through 4 and then going straight to Lost Legacy because it's not that long. It's not that long of a game, so I am looking forward to it. And that's really all I've played on PlayStation. I tried that Deep Rock Galactic game. Didn't care for it. It's not my type of game. I'm not a survival type
same
person. So I was like, no, it's the same for me.
Yeah.
But I played for Forza Horizon 5. I've been playing that quite a bit. I've been in a car mood, and I just like staring at cars that I know I'll never own in my life. But they look pretty on Forza. So. And then I beat Nobody Saves the World. I don't know if I talked about that last week, but I did.
You did talk about it last week.
Okay. Well then, that's pretty much it. That's all I've done.
All right. Well, you guys are gonna be definitely disappointed in me because
Can I guess?
Oh yeah, take your best guess.
Well, if you didn't play anything that I'll never guess, but I mean, I was guessing Monster Hunter on PC.
No,
maybe a little bit.
Monster Munter.
Nah, the only thing, the only thing that technically counted as me playing a game during the course of last week, since our last episode of the show, was my boyfriend and I had game night. We have a video game night with some of his friends from over on the West Coast. So we played a good solid hour and a half session of Among Us.
Dang, I was hoping he made you play Mario Party or Mario Kart.
Well, the only Mario Party game he's gonna get me to play is Super Mario Party. That's the only way he's gonna get me to play. Yeah. So we played a nice game of Among Us. But I did finish the first season of Cobra Kai, so I'm starting season 2. Like, as a matter of fact, I'll probably start that tonight before I go to bed. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know what? I gotta say, like, I actually enjoy the show. Like, I think I mentioned earlier that I'd previously only seen like the first episode because it was on YouTube Red before Netflix picked it up, and I saw it, and I was like, man, at the time, you know, like, when I first saw it, I remember at the time it was one of those situations where it was like okay, like they're cashing in on nostalgia, but it definitely seems like they're trying too hard, you know. But you know, after they got that Netflix money, you know, the writing of the show got serious, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, like they just got renewed for season 5 and stuff like that. So, you know, like I'm playing all the catch up right now for it, and it's actually pretty good, man. I love you know, it's crazy because, like, if you watch the first season of Cobra Kai, like, Johnny gives you give you the events of how the first Karate Kid movie went down from his perspective. And you know what? You know what's crazy? I can see where the whole thing was misunderstood, you know. Now not saying that him and his jerkwad buddies weren't just bullying Daniel's character, you know. But at the same time, I get it, you know, like, this new kid comes to town, you know, you're not so much girlfriend, you know, like, starts getting interested in him and stuff like that, you know, like, it feels like shit's all messed up, and then when you try to say something to the other guy, the guy's not giving you a hard time about it and stuff like that. So yeah, I get it, but that doesn't excuse the fact that Johnny's just a jackass anyway. He is.
Well, I don't know. I think you'll start to think differently about the characters because I watched the first 2 seasons, and
trust me, like
okay.
just the whole posturing that him and Daniel did the first season, because man, like Daniel's wife called him out, like, the only jerk I see here is you.
Yeah. Like, it's like man, Daniel's a dick. Like, who likes him? Who likes him anymore?
Yeah, but I think we can all agree Daniel's cousin is just a jackass.
I have actually not watched any of Cobra Kai.
Oh man, you know what? I'm not gonna push this on you like Story and I have been pushing Mass Effect on Boss Rush proper, but but you know what? Like, I actually gave Cobra Kai a chance after I didn't write it off. It was more like I saw the first episode and I just kind of forgot about it, and then I caught my roommate and his girlfriend watching it downstairs, and I accidentally watched the whole back half of the 4th season, which is the current season, right? And I was like, okay, this show got better somewhere. So I need to go back and see how we got here.
I just, something has to give when you play an online game as religiously as I do with Destiny, and that was kind of TV
time.
It's TV time outside of like Book of Boba Fett or like an MCU show, and those air one at a time. So I got to set aside an hour at some point on my Wednesday to watch it.
By the way, Boba Fett, you know what? I'm actually impressed. You know, I'm actually digging the slow pacing of this storytelling versus how, like, because I feel like the Mandalorian is great paced, but
it is.
I definitely love the pacing of the Book of Boba Fett. Like, you know, they're getting the backstory out the way. You know?
I liked the dual narrative that we had going, showing what happens immediately after the events of Return of the Jedi and jumping forward to the present day, post Mandalorian season 2. I like that, and I think it tells an interesting story. And people are complaining, they're like, "Oh, Boba Fett's so lame," and it's like, well, they already took what Boba Fett was in the old expanded universe and basically made that into Din Djarin. So you have that problem already. And if they were to just do that and be like, well, it's the old Boba from the EU, people are going to be like, no, this is just Mando 2.0. This is stupid. We want something different. Like, it is a no-win scenario bringing back Boba Fett for some of the old-time fans, but I'm personally digging it.
Me too.
I like it a lot, especially, and I mean, this past episode, it's funny that everybody's made the joke, oh, the best episode of the season is, this last
one. The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and it's like
I don't care. I don't care about spoilers.
But I think there's something to be said about how much that character has resonated with people that we can say things like that and not immediately be like, oh, this has no point to the plot. Why is it an episode about Mando? It's like, because we love Mando so much. We love Grogu.
Let's just call it like it is with this. Like, the Mandalorian is... I feel like the Mandalorian basically propelled Star Wars in a different... in the best trajectory ever. Because, I mean, something had to pick up from the animated series. Because the Clone Wars aside, like, I appreciate the Clone Wars now, for what it is. But Star Wars Rebels, in my opinion, is like the epitome of like how good a fucking Star Wars animated series should be.
Rebels season 3 and 4 are incredible.
Yeah, and then of course season 7 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
man.
the Siege of Mandalore, man, that could have been a movie.
Yeah, and the fucking Bad Batch, God, it was good.
Yeah.
There's your side story in Star Wars. If you just want a side story, there's your side story right there, man. I didn't realize that, I didn't realize the Bad Batch had that much notoriety, until they actually brought the series out. And I was like, man, like it's good. Like, I don't think there's anything else after this, right? Like, there's nothing else coming, right? For Bad Batch.
You will have Bad Batch season 2 is happening this year. Kenobi is premiering on May 4th.
Okay.
And the Rogue One spinoff, Cassian Andor, should be out this summer. With him and Alan Tudyk back as K2. As the droid. So really looking forward to see what they do.
Best droid ever.
Best droid ever. And Mando season 3 should be this fall. Because they're filming it right now. I know that much. So excited to see what happens. It was a great way to keep Star Wars in the conversation once the sequel trilogy ended, because I think we all went, well, Rise of Skywalker kind of sucks. This movie kind of blows, but hey, Mando's been going for 6 episodes and it's fucking awesome. Yeah. This is what we want from Star Wars. We get to watch it week to week. It's become event television. Like there was and I promise I'll let us get to video games after this. There was a discussion that happened when Game of Thrones ended back in 2019 in the spring about is the monoculture dead? Is the must-watch event for everybody? Like everybody has to sit down and watch the same thing. Is it dead? And then not even 6 months later, we get The Mandalorian, which out of nowhere becomes this smash pop culture phenomena. Like people in my family who have never watched a Star Wars movie obsessively watched The Mandalorian and now Book of Boba Fett. It's wild. They did the same thing with the MCU. They were never into the movies, and then something happened around the time Spider-Man Homecoming came out. And they were like, I gotta get in on these.
Yeah.
I gotta get in on this. Black Panther happens. Oh my god, I'm buying tickets to Infinity War. Oh, I'm taking off work. People took off work to go see Endgame with me who have never watched a Marvel movie in theaters. It's wild. Like, the monoculture is alive and well, and it's seeping into games, which I love.
For real. All right, you know what, guys? We spent enough time just waxing poetic on all this stuff. You guys ready to talk about some games?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right, sweet. All right. So, coming up first, we have our new and notable games for this week, which is the week of January 31st through February the 6th. So, all right, you know what? I'm not going to bore everybody with the details here, but basically, looking outward at the calendar right now, February is looking to turn into that month that's quite possibly the craziest month of releases we've seen on PlayStation in a long while. And that's despite the fact that we have a small lineup of releases this week. But after that, it looks like it's all going to be downhill. And it all starts off with the notable release of this week's Dying Light 2, Stay Human. All right, so what we have here is we have on the 1st of February, which is today at the time of this recording, Life is Strange, the Remastered Collection has been released on the PS4. and I will synopsize this real fast. You're gonna players return to Arcadia Bay and experience 2 award-winning Life is Strange games like never before. The game has been remastered, has remastered visuals and an animation that breathe new life into these gripping stories and their unforgettable characters. All right, and then on the 4th of February, we have Dying Light 2: Stay Human for PS5 and PS4, as well as Magnum Lord on the PS4. Dying Light 2, the virus has won and civilization has fallen back to the dark ages. The city, one of the last human settlements, is on the brink of collapse. As the player, you use your agility and combat skills to survive and reshape the world. Your choices matter. And coming from their Twitter page, #StayHuman, it's much more than just the game's claim. In order to survive in this extremely difficult and dangerous world, you will be constantly balancing on the verge of being human or turning into a monster yourself. What does stay human mean to you? And yeah, so I'll just go ahead and ask the question now. Which of this week's releases has you most excited, guys? Well, I know if Nelly was here, it'd definitely be Dying Light. I know.
Be Dying Light too.
yeah. Shouts to our typo queen, Nelly Lott.
Maybe Life is Strange remastered. I just played through those games like maybe a year and a half ago, though, so I don't really feel ready to revisit them, especially at that price point.
Mm-hmm.
And Dying Light does, frankly, nothing for me.
Yeah.
So everybody else is like, oh my god, it's beginning. I'm like, nope. I get to hold off for another week and a half.
Yep.
I wonder if it could be coming out in a week and a half.
Life is Strange with just the remastered collection. I'm like, I've played Life is Strange. I'm good. I don't know if that's ever going to be a game that I replay.
It's a very heavy game. It's hard to go back to.
I've never played them. I've never played any of them. And the crazy part is, I love these type of games. Like I like games like Detroit Become Human and Indigo Prophecy and what was the other game? The Heavy Rain.
Beyond Two Souls.
Molded these. Yeah, Beyond Two Souls. They molded these type of games. So I don't know why I haven't gravitated towards Dying Light. I'm not Dying Light. I'm sorry, Life is Strange. I don't know.
This one also has like different alternative endings based on how you play too. But I was like, I don't know if I will play through this again. So I ended up looking up all the endings. This was never a game that I plan on going back to. I need to play the sequels and the new one that just came out. True Colors, I think might have been.
Yeah, I'd rather spend my money on True Colors. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah. Dying Light, I liked the first one, but the second one, I'm like, I don't know if I needed more. Like, I don't know if I need
more. With the development history of this game, I'm pretty nervous.
Yeah. There's going to be a cool Easter egg for me because my favorite podcast is having an Easter egg in the game, which will be kind of cool, but I'm not going to pay $60 for an Easter egg that I want to see. Well, besides ours.
I know what you meant.
PlayStation
Tower Casuals has a cameo?
Josh, you know, if me listening to Tower Casuals would just be going all over my head, except for the Mass Effect episode. I actually tuned in for the Mass Effect episode. I'm like, you know what? I gotta listen to this because I.
Wait! Y'all had a Mass Effect episode?
There was
we did. We didn't. They decided at like noon on a Thursday to say, yeah, we're not gonna do a weekly update this week. And Corey and I didn't really have anything to talk about because we both had taken several weeks off of Destiny to enjoy the holidays. So I had just finished Mass Effect 3 that afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So we did a whole like hour and a half episode we called it the Citadel Casuals for an episode. It was great.
I gotta check this out.
It was great. Yeah, it was like my pure unadulterated opinions. Like, I've just finished it. I'm still caught up in the moment, the emotions, everything. I finished it, got on the pod maybe 45 minutes later.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
I looked up that Maglam Lord. Not for me. not for me.
Yeah, it's a straight JRPG. Like if anyone wants to know, Magnum Lord is a vibrant action JRPG straight from the depths of hell, boasting exploration, real time combat, weapon crafting, and relationship building. I think that's where it lost to Austin. I think that's where it is.
Well, the relationship building, no problem, but it is chibi, and it just I don't know. It's not catching me with the trailer. Unfortunately, it also looks like it might be an action RPG. Weirdly enough, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know.
Yep.
This is a classic PlayStation game, though. I'll say that.
That is true.
If you want a niche JRPG looking game, this is right up your alley. If that's why you have PlayStation.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, that's everything. We got Life is Strange Remastered Collection on PS4 out right now, and in a couple of days, Dying Light 2: Stay Human, as well as Magnum Lord, will be available for PS5 and PS4 respectively. So there you have it.
As the Green Day song goes, "Wake me up when February 18th is here." Until then, I'll just play.
You can keep me in cryo until February 22nd.
All right, guys, we'll go ahead and move on to our next news topic tonight, and that is our PlayStation Plus and PS Now games from February 2022 are available now. So here we go. I'm going to try and get this mouthful out as fast as possible here. All right, so we're going to start off with PlayStation Plus. Okay, let's just go ahead and say it right now. You may or may not be happy with the February selection for PS Plus, but the PS Plus lineup of games, in my opinion, is definitely strong. If it isn't everyone's cup of tea, so there it is. I said what I said. They're available for download right now, and the trio titles for this month include Planet Coaster Console Edition, EA Sports UFC 4, and Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure. Jesus Christ, it's such a long-ass title.
It only gets longer from there.
It's a very D&D title, and that makes me excited.
Yeah.
All right. So in Planet Coaster, the console edition, this is the celebrated coaster park simulation game that's coming straight to your living room. It's a little late, but yeah, because Planet Coaster's been out for since 2018. But hey, we were getting it for free for PlayStation Plus, so here's a chance to play the game that you may have missed 3 years ago. Planet Coaster will have gamers unleash their vision of the ultimate theme park using simple yet wonderful creation tools. You can control every aspect of your park with fun management features and share any design imaginable online. Now, I have a secret to tell you guys. I love sim games, especially amusement park games. I love sim games like this. So you know what, this shit might just already be on my PlayStation 5 right now.
You and Corey are truly one of the same. When this got announced as a launch title for Series X, he was so excited for this. He was like, "I'm buying this. I don't care that it's coming to Game Pass. I already have it pre-bought. It's gonna pre-download as soon as I get my console hooked up." He's like, "I bought this and Destiny," and he was dead. He was dead ass serious.
I love sim games, and you know what? Theme park games are the only ones I actually have the patience for to not play on the computer. I would rather play on a console with a controller in my hand versus a damn keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse, save that shit for SimCity and
let me relax on the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to talk about games that are fun to play with people? I used to love playing Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid with my friends. This is a game that, if my girlfriend is into sim games, I would absolutely play with her. We end up gravitating more towards the Detroit Become Humans and Life is Strange games, though, because it's playing a movie essentially. So,
remember the game Thrillville?
I do.
Woo!
Thrillville is the reason why I don't get excited about Park Sims anymore.
Why?
Because
what
I
happened?
love Thrillville so
Oh, you love
much.
Thrillville was some good
Thrillville.
Wasn't that from LucasArts?
Yeah, I was just about to say LucasArts. Yeah.
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 Thrillville and Thrillville Off the Rails are two of my favorite games. I played those games over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I wanted when the Disney LucasArts collab started to happen. I so desperately wanted a Disney
A
World
Disney World, yeah.
Thrillville. Like I
Oh my
wanted that so
god!
bad.
Listen,
That
if
was
you
like my
make me a
number
Disney
one
World
thing.
Thrillville, oh
Man,
boy!
they squandered that one.
Me and
And
Corey are going to be
I'm like,
lining up
why
for
they
the
would have
midnight
to have-
release.
Yeah, they would have to have all the attractions too. You'd have to have your Star Wars. You'd have to have your. You have to have. Wait, did they close down? Is Epcot officially closed down?
No, Epcot's still there. They're just redoing
Epcot's still there?
half the park.
Oh, okay.
They're putting
Yeah,
a
but you'd
Guardians
have
of the
to have-
Galaxy roller coaster in now.
You'd have to have all the marquee stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
Anyway.
my dream game. That's like my dream game. If I had like piss money, like where I could just piss it all away, like I would build that game because I desperately want
They
it.
tried on the Connect with Disneyland Adventures. They tried.
I vaguely remember that.
They remastered it for the Xbox One. Xbox One does not require Connect anymore.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag Game Pass Ultimate. I may actually go play it.
All right. Next up on the lineup is EA Sports UFC 4, which features 229 unique fighters from the UFC with 81 alternate versions. I'm kind of curious about these alternate versions, but yeah. The game also features a career mode, which is designed to be an onboarding experience to teach the player the basics of the four MMA disciplines, which include boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. And then last up for our PlayStation Plus games for this month is Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure. I am no longer going to say that entire title after I've said it now. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep takes gamers and Borderlands fans alike has embarking on an epic adventure to smash skeletons, defeat dragons, and battle giant golems. This is a standalone version of the beloved Borderlands 2 DLC, which is ready for pick up and play action to get you in the bunkers and badasses mindset ahead of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is releasing this March 25th. For anyone who didn't experience this game back in 2013, wow, long time ago, right?
Yep.
This is the first foray into the Wonderlands. Tiny Tina serves as your bunker master in this unpredictable adventure full of skeletons, dragons, and unforgettable characters. The entire campaign can be enjoyed solo or cooperatively with friends in true Borderlands fashion, so have at it. And this is the perfect way to whet your appetite ahead of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I know like you guys are definitely all about, right, Austin and Josh?
I am. I don't know if Josh is.
I'm here for. Wow,
Okay.
had tickled my throat. I'm here for it. It won't be a day one purchase, but I will definitely pick it up because I'll still be in full brand new raid mode for Destiny and everything at that point in March. I'll probably pick this up when a lull in the season comes, end of April, beginning of May. First time it goes on sale, I'm probably grabbing this.
Yeah, it's definitely a day one buy for me, and why this is probably my second favorite DLC for the Borderlands. The first one being Inside Claptrap, which is a great DLC. I think if I remember correctly, it's about a 6-hour DLC, so it's a pretty meaty DLC. There's a lot of stuff you can do, a lot of side quests you can do. I'm super excited for the game. I know a lot of people are upset because it's like, why are you giving us this DLC? But I think it's kind of cool, and I think this could be a thing that could, I don't know if I would want it to be our third game every time, but getting DLC for a really popular game wouldn't be a bad thing to get for PS Plus.
This isn't actually, because I thought the same thing. I looked into this. This is actually a complete standalone game.
Yeah,
this is a sequel. Yeah, it's a sequel to the original DLC from Borderlands 2, but it's a prequel to the actual full game that's coming.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's like a $10-15 downloadable thing. I think. I don't know. I'm all for this because I almost bought this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
and That being said, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep is a real value drop for Sony service this month, so definitely check it out.
And also, if you have interest in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and you're like, well, I don't know if it's for me. Play this game, play this little, PS Plus. I'm pretty sure it's only about 6 hours. You'll get a good taste for it, and you'll know if you want to buy that game on day one or not. I already know I'm buying it. I don't have much this year that I'm aware of that's coming out this year, except for like Horizon and then Tiny Tina and then Starfield. And after those three, I'm like up in the air of what I might get day one. So this is it'll be definitely big for me.
Fair.
All right. Now shifting gears over at PlayStation Now, things seem to be a little more lukewarm, I guess.
That's a nice way to put it.
Would it be a little less lukewarm? I'm not sure. Depending on your outlook, you could probably take February's 2022 PS Plus and PS Now updates as evidence of an impending shakeup. Now, I say that because something's going on. We've heard things about Project Spartacus and all this stuff. Something's going on because I feel like they ran last month out the gate strong with the PlayStation Plus and PS Now like offerings, and all of a sudden, it's almost like the well went dry or something. All right, so the headline addition to the PlayStation Now lineup for this month is Grand Theft Auto Vice City Definitive Edition, and it's joined by a trio of permanent editions, which are not really likely to get people excited. I don't mean to be mean. I don't.
Death Squared's a cool game, but I don't.
I have heard some things about Death Squared, but the other ones, I don't mean to be mean, but I didn't really look up the other games. If you are a subscriber to PlayStation Now, though, please, hopefully you can find something in here you like. So the full lineup is GTA Vice City Definitive Edition, which is available all the way through until May the 2nd of 2022. You've also got Little Big Workshop, as well as Through the Darkest of Times and Death Squared. Now, yes, Austin, Death Squared has been out for a while, and I can't remember it, but I do know that it had pretty decent reviews when it was out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the games for PS Now will be available for download and to stream on the PS4. But in the case of the cross-gen title, GTA Vice City Definitive Edition, you'll only get access to the last-gen version, even if you're playing on PS5. So don't think you'll be able to turn on your PS5, do some hocus pocus, and get the best edition of the game. You're only going to get the PS4 edition.
The hocus pocus.
Yeah. Hopefully that's part of the Spartacus fix, by the way. We start getting PS5 games because it's ridiculous.
You have to. You can't release a service like that. Not when, for God's sake, Microsoft's doing it for free. Not to be an Xbox guy, but I think I've brought this up on every time I've been on the show. When your competitor's doing it for free, you need to do it for free.
You need
to make moving your saves far less cumbersome.
Yeah.
So which of these selections of these featured games this month has your attention? I'm guessing it's going to be Tiny Tina.
Tiny Tina's the only one.
Followed by Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
I think you are alone on that island, my friend.
I'm excited to play Planet Coaster. I've wanted.
Okay, fair. I'm not knocking anybody for it. It's not my type of game. I certainly couldn't care less about UFC.
Josh is like, quit it. Josh is like, quit it with the fucking Jedi mind tricks here. I'm not playing the game.
Josh is buying a $60 DLC in a few weeks. Okay.
I would have been more excited to get a WWE 2K18 game or something more than UFC 4.
Wait, was that the broken game?
No, 20's the broken one.
Okay.
I mean, there's a variety of ones you can get. I don't know. I guess I've been just I'm just kind of hanging out over in Game Pass land. Do I want to sit down and play Mortal Kombat 11 or Injustice 2?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Killer Instinct is still here, too. Let me play the game that they completely abandoned after a year and a half that could have been great. So, I don't know. I've just got, if I want to play a fighting game, I feel like I've got a multitude of options, both on PlayStation and, on my Xbox and even on my Switch. Yeah. That I'd rather go play before UFC.
True. Yeah. True.
That are included with said subscriptions that I already have. There's better offerings in PS Now, I promise you.
You also have UFC on Game Pass, too. don't you?
Yeah. 4. Yeah, it's in EA Play, but I'll tell you the same thing. It's gathering digital dust there too. I'm not even claiming this game. I'll claim Planet Coaster. I'm not claiming UFC.
Sometimes I go through Game Pass and think, man, I might play Madden 19 because that might be the least broken of all the Maddens that have come out since. And that's what stops me on Game Pass.
All right. I kind of already glossed over this when I mentioned Project Spartacus, but is a selection of games on PS Now signaling a return to the slump for the subscription service, or is this the calm before the storm, which will be Project Spartacus?
Both.
Both. Yeah.
I mean,
so you think a slum is happening and it's the calm before the storm? I
do because I think. I mean, you look at how bad Games with Gold has been for like years now, and it was doing pretty good there for a while. We were getting all sorts of OG Xbox games being given to us in place of some of the 360 games. It was fantastic. We were getting, Assassin's Creed titles handed out, and then Game Pass actually got worth having like 2.5 years ago, I would say. And at that point, Games with Gold took a nosedive. And it's never pulled out of that slump. Once in a while, you'll get a great game that'll show up on there, a true gem. But why would you want to dump money into that and have to compensate the developers for all these copies that'll be claimed when you could just be like, we got 200 better offers over here for $9.99 a month. And I think that's a pretty compelling argument. There's no way that Sony's history. And how many games they can pull from the past to optimize to work even just digitally would far and away be better than anything that PS Now or PS Plus could dream of doing right now. Yeah. I'm okay with this. How many of us really play all the free games that we claim anyways at this point?
Shit. You know what? That was one of the main factors for why I canceled PlayStation Plus a while back. I was like, man, you're giving me all these games and I never have time to play them.
That's how I feel. I've had PS Plus since I got my console my PS5 last year, and I cannot tell you. I don't think I've ever played online. Truthfully, I think I played Ghost of Tsushima Legends once, and that was it. One time.
Yeah, when I stopped playing Monster Hunter World on PS4. I let go of my PlayStation Plus subscription. It was no longer useful for me and stuff like that, And
I'm sure I'll have it again. I'm probably going to cancel mine too. My year is about to be up. I'm going to cancel mine when my year runs out at the beginning of May. Because there's no way it's not going to be bundled into Spartacus. There's absolutely no way. So I'll have it again automatically because if it's anything like Game Pass, I'll have it included.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boo! Play Tiny Tina's.
There you have it.
It's still better than anything that Xbox Live gave you this month.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next news topic, and this is a nice one. This is also kind of unexpected, kind of hit us from left field. A Gran Turismo 7 State of Play is coming this Wednesday. So, as the time you are listening to this show, it is happening tomorrow. So, this news comes to us from Video Games Chronicle via Chris Scullion. Sony has announced that a new State of Play presentation based on Gran Turismo 7 will be shown this week. The presentation will take place on Wednesday, February the 2nd at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time for our people out there across the pond. According to Sony, the presentation, which is estimated to last 30 minutes, will be solely focused on Gran Turismo 7 and will not feature any other games, but will consist of new PlayStation 5 footage and gameplay details. I've heard them say this before, that there won't be any other games featured. I guarantee you we get at least 2 or 3 trailers for something else. I guarantee you. Unless, I don't know. Again, Sony...
No, I think when they've done specific ones, I specifically think back to the Horizon Forbidden West one we got last May.
We didn't see anything.
We got nothing else at that one because that was the whole speculation. It was a 15-minute thing, and that was it. We didn't get the major Sony event until September that year. We got a smaller one in July the last time I was here, and then we got the big one with the Ragnarok footage, the KOTOR remake, Ghostwire, all that shown in September.
Yeah.
Because they squeezed Deathloop in one final time the week before release.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm being the cynic. Maybe
I think you're going to get a Gran Turismo one because they haven't shown a ton of this game yet. We've seen shockingly little of Gran Turismo 7, I feel. It to be a month ago before launch. So let it have its spotlight. It's definitely, and this is a crazy phrase to say, Horizon Forbidden West has overshadowed Gran Turismo 7 almost completely, I think, when even just last generation saying anything overshadowing a Gran Turismo release would be wild.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Gran Turismo is
I can't believe they didn't move this to
franchise.
April. I cannot believe this did not get moved to like April 1st or something.
Yeah.
Just give it a little bit of breathing.
April 1st?
Okay, April 2nd maybe. April 2nd. I don't know if that's a Thursday or Friday or whatever, but sometime in April, you could have moved this to, given it a little bit more time. But I do think you're going to get it focused just on this, and I think you're getting a real state of play right after, maybe the Monday after this game releases. You're getting, or the Thursday after. They do their events on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Do it the Thursday after.
Speaking of dates, Gran Turismo 7 was originally planned for release last year, but was delayed after production was impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. Polyphony Digital's Racer, I should say, will now be released for PS5 and PS4 on March 4th, 2022. A Gran Turismo 7 gameplay video was released back in December that showed off the returning Deep Forest Raceway circuit. One of the better ones. I'm not gonna say the best, but one of the better ones. Which is one of over 90 tracks reportedly set to be included in this title. More recently, Sony released a Gran Turismo 7 gameplay video showing off the return of the Daytona International Speedway, which previously appeared in GT5 and GT6. The PS5 gameplay video shows a lap of the Daytona track taken from the cockpit view, and then it shows the same lap taken from the replay view, where the frame rate drops from 60 frames per second to 30 frames per second, but the level of detail is overall increased. Sony recently detailed GT7's pre-order. I'm sorry. Had the hiccups there. My bad. Sony recently detailed GT7's pre-order items and the game's 25th anniversary edition, which will cost respectively $90 US and 90 euros. I didn't know euros and the dollar were at pace of each other right now. I didn't know that.
Everything's kind of cratered right now because of inflation and everything. Yeah.
Customers who pre-ordered the PS4 and PS5 game at participating retailers ahead of its March 4th release date will receive a selection of bonus in-game items. The 25th anniversary edition includes a Toyota GR Yaris with a country-specific livery. Who knows? Like it might just be the flags. I don't know.
Fun fact: I almost bought that car. Almost bought it. Yeah, almost. It's one of the two.
Okay. All right. What'd you wind up getting?
A Nissan. It was too small. The Yaris was too small. It rode nice, but it was too small. I felt
you know what? I was just
in The Incredibles.
I was just thinking. I was like, wait, isn't Austin like 6'5" or something?
No, I'm not that tall. No.
How tall are you? 6
foot.
Wait. I thought. Okay, somebody in your family is super tall.
My brothers are like 6'5". Two of my brothers are 6'5". My other brother's probably going to be there.
Okay. Wait, do you want the one that's still growing?
Yeah, he's still growing, and he's like right up there with me.
Okay. All right. Lastly, GTA 7's campaign mode, library editor, Scapes photo mode, GT Cafe, and GT Auto will all require players to be connected to the PlayStation Network. You know what that means, boys and girls? Better have your PlayStation Plus membership up to date.
I always do.
All right, so a couple quick questions here. How excited are we for the next entry in the Gran Turismo series? I think Josh kind of glossed over it just now.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to like discount it. I totally understand people who are hyped for it. Racing enthusiasts, this is like one of the first pure racers we've gotten in several years. Forza Motorsport proper has been absent for 4 years now, 5 years. We haven't had an installment over there. Basically the same amount of time for Gran Turismo. totally understand everybody getting hyped about it. This is the kind of racing game, though, that I'm like, I appreciate it on a technical level. I will watch people stream it on Twitch. I will never purchase it myself.
Yeah,
it's not an arcade racer, and that's about all I like anymore. Is like the Need for Speeds and the Forza Horizons of the world.
Same. So. Yeah, I was just telling our friends in the Twitch chat just now that I'm kind of lukewarm to it. Unfortunately, it's not a day one release, and I can't be guaranteed if it's even going to be a $20 release. Like, shit. Like they may see me get it if it comes to PlayStation Plus.
If it comes to PlayStation Plus, I'll absolutely try it. I will never not like. Honestly, I'm just gonna wait for Spartacus. I'm gonna play it on Spartacus.
Josh is trying to will Project Spartacus into existence, and I'm here for it.
I'm speaking it into existence.
I hope he does. I'm excited for the game. I'm excited that we're finally getting a proper number Gran Turismo. I hope it's good because they cannot afford to miss again. I mean, Sport wasn't terrible, but it definitely was not what everyone wanted. And I just like they've not only is Gran Turismo, I mean, it's got its dedicated fan base, but Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsports has gained so much ground. It's become the like popular favorite at this point that Gran Turismo cannot afford to miss on this. They have to win that community back into it. And I mean, I'm excited. I'm gonna wait for reviews. If it's like out of the park, I will probably buy it because I really do want a next Gran Turismo game. I've enjoyed all of them since 2 on the PS1. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully being good.
This is where I hate having a digital PS5 because this is something I would absolutely buy, play it for like 2 days, and be like, "All right, I'm done. Who wants to buy a copy of this for $50?" I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. I would seriously do that. Like, I don't know. This is me being old and cantankerous. That's all this is. Get off Forza Horizon 5's lawn.
You know what? I'm the same way though. Like I'm more of an arcade racer at this point. Like I did my thing. Like I poured blood, sweat, and tears into 4 Gran Turismo games, like GTA 1, 2, 3, and 4. I couldn't anymore. And I basically had to defect to Burnout and Need for Speed at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like Gran Turismo, the franchise itself, though, like I have nothing but respect for it.
No, absolutely. You don't get to modern racers without the legacy of Gran Turismo, especially Gran Turismo 3 and 4.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even have you don't have the PlayStation studios you have now without what Paul Funny did in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We forget, like, Gran Turismo 3 Aspect sold 18 million units on its own. That's fucking wild. Like, game in 2001 sold 18 million units. That's Grand Theft Auto numbers.
Yeah.
So.
And yet Sony thought it was a good idea to make Drive Club, and here we are.
And GT Sport.
Yeah. Sport was cool though, because the VR stuff was cool. But
I still don't know how I feel about Sport. Like
I will tell you, I will concede that I will 100% play this game when the PSVR 2 comes out, and this inevitably works with it. I'll absolutely play that.
No.
Absolutely play
no.
it. I'm here for it.
I'm not trying to get motion sick like that. No, thank you.
Yeah, if you get motion sick easily, because my dad was like, I brought my VR over. My dad was like, "Oh, I want to try," and like within 10 seconds, he's like, "I can't do this. Like, this is not." He gets motion sick really bad.
I'm gonna be the guy going like 15 miles on it, so I don't get motion sick. It's gonna be like when Ricky Bobby was like, "What is that? Oh my god, are those the other cars?" That's what it's gonna be like. I'm gonna make the Wonder Bread car and everything in
it. Good stuff. All right, guys, you ready to move on to our next topic?
I'm ready.
All right.
I saw your question though. I want to say it. Audi R8. That's my favorite car. GT4.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like, I knew that's my car. I've always wanted, like, if I had a reasonable amount of money, that's the one that I want.
What is the okay, so Austin like saw into the future. Because the question is, what has been your favorite your car feature in the history of the Gran Turismo franchise? For me it was the freaking oh god, I can't remember the model, but it's basically the Mach 2 from Speed Racer, the anime, the Ford car.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Ford Focus 2007.
No.
What was it? What was it?
I gotta look it up. The concept, let me. I had a Hot Wheel of it.
Isn't it GT? Is it a GT450? Is that it?
I think so. Let me look it up.
I'm sorry, the GT40. What was I thinking? Yeah, the GT40. Yep, the Ford GT40 race car 69. Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. And you know what?
69.
And you know what? When they unveiled that beast in Gran Turismo 2, like, man, that was one of the best cars. That one of the best. And that and the what was the Toyota one? The orange Toyota. Crap.
I'll never forget when I played Gran Turismo for the first time. I played Gran Turismo 2 on the PS1. It had multiple discs. That was my first game with multiple discs in it. And I put the wrong disc in it at first. And I was like, what is going on? This is just a menu. How can I drive? And then I don't know how old I was when I was playing this game. And then I finally started racing. And I was like, you're telling me I'm racing minivans? Like this, because you start off with like some minivan and your Class C cars or whatever. And it's just like, I'm like, what is this game? This game sucks. And then I kept playing it more and more and unlocking more cars. I was like, oh, I get it now.
All right, I just looked it up. It's the Toyota GT1 race car. That car. That car. The moment you press the circle button, like it was gone. I remember reading FAQs. I remember reading FAQs for that car, and they said when you're doing the circuit races, like they're like, make sure your tires are right. That's all they would say about it. Make sure your tires are right. Oh man, God, those are the days. Like I said, I have no more patience for Gran Turismo. No. That's the problem. Yeah. It has
why I would love for Gran Turismo to make a Horizon type game, because Forza Horizon is such a cool change of pace, but
it's so accessible.
Yeah, it is. It has something for the gearheads, but it also has something for just the arcadey people that love racing games. You know,
yeah.
God, it's like Gran Turismo meets Burnout Paradise to a certain extent. Yeah. I mean, the crashes aren't spectacular. I need spectacular crashes. I do.
The best thing I saw said about Forza Horizon was you can do all you want. You can have a souped up McLaren, but you're inevitably still going to lose the drag race to some asshole who's fine-tuned a VW bug to its limits.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's absolutely true. Yeah. Oh, it was like some guy driving a souped up VW with hentai stickers all over it or something. It's like, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get on to our final news topic so we can get to the meat and potatoes of our show tonight. All right. Our final news topic tonight is about Shohei Ohtani. He is now your MLB The Show 2022 22 cover athlete. And we have a launch date for MLB The Show 22. All right. This news comes to us from Ramon Russell via the PlayStation blog. All right. Shohei Ohtani's 2021 season was one for the ages, hitting 46 home runs, 100 RBIs, and stealing 26 bases, while also having a 9-2 record on the mound with a 3.18 ERA and 156 strikeouts. Dude, this guy was putting in work.
Dude, this is a freak of nature. Like Shohei Ohtani is
he could
a
go
freak
down
of
as one of the
nature.
great MLB players of all time if he keeps up.
Just because of that 1 year.
Yeah.
Just off that 1 year. No one pitches and hits like that ever. Like that's a rare thing.
That's some Babe Ruth shit.
Cool. Yeah.
After having one of the greatest seasons in the history of the MLB, Shohei Ohtani was really the only obvious choice to grace the cover of MLB The Show 2020. I don't know why I keep adding the 20 in front of this, because they've never had like the full year. I don't know why I keep doing that. I guess it's because like I'm just old, and I don't like abbreviating years and decades and all this stuff.
Is it because you were around in 1922? Is that when you get?
Hey! You sound like that damn TikTok where it was like, if you were born in 1900,
no regards.
I didn't want you to get confused.
Don't make me come to Oklahoma. Do not make me.
Hey, you're welcome anytime. I need an excuse to take people to an Indian palace. That's really what I want to do. I want people to come down so I can take them to an Indian restaurant.
Hey! You know what? Hey, food is always my language. Like people know food is my love language. Like show me some good food. I'm yours. All right. MLB The Show 22 launches on April the 5th, 2022. There, I finally had a chance to say it. And for the second year in a row, MLB The Show is expanding to a new platform. It's funny, like this is a PlayStation show, but it always seems I'm always repping other consoles on this show now. What's the world come to? It's that mixed ecosystem of gaming that we always dreamed about. It is. It's got to be. All right, but fans will have a new way to play MLB The Show 22, which will be available on the Nintendo Switch platform for the first time, adding to the console lineup, which is the PlayStation 5, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S systems. Standard edition on the left. Okay, so because this is worded a little crazy, so here we go. If you're playing last generation's edition of MLB The Show, $59.99 is what you're paying. You're paying for current gen, which is PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. You're spending $69.99. The Nintendo Switch edition will be $59.99. So you heard it all here first on Crossroads PlayStation. Well, maybe not first, but you heard it all. You heard it here on Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast for Boss Rush Network. There you go. Nintendo fans can now join in with the Xbox and PlayStation fans to play against each other online with cross-platform play in MLB The Show 22. In addition, cross-progression allows you to earn content on any platform or generation. This does exclude PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S exclusive features like the Stadium Creator Mode. With cross saves, you can transfer your save file for the road or to the show. I like how they said that. Or franchise mode to a different console. Coming up on Wednesday, the 2nd of February, Sony will reveal all info on the collector's editions for MLB The Show 22 and all of its content as well. Okay, so here's the big one here. Here's the big one, because, folks got bent out of shape because they felt like they slid this in, at the last second. Sony is upfront with this one now. All collector's editions of MLB The Show 22 revealed coming up tomorrow on February the 2nd will include dual entitlement. Dual entitlement, if you remember, is if you have it on the older platform, you can get the upgrade for the newer platform. If you instead plan on purchasing the standard edition of MLB The Show 22 on PS4 and have plans of upgrading to the PS5 version, you will need to purchase the digital edition and take advantage of the $10 US upgrade offer. So there you have it. So you can't call foul at the last moment and be like, oh, they pulled a fast one on us and make us pay money. No, they said up front. There you go. Don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. All right. So I got to go ahead and get the obvious questions out the way. Will you be playing MLB The Show 22 when it comes out? I will be playing it. I just don't know when I'm going to play it. And you know what? I hate to say it, but it might wind up in my Switch before it winds up in my PlayStation first.
I'll play it a little bit. And I didn't really enjoy last year's. I forgot how much out of practice I am with baseball in general. and sports games. But I'll be playing it again because it's also coming back to Game Pass.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
you know what grinds my gears about that? It was on Game Pass, but it wasn't on Game Pass for PC. That pisses me off.
Well, it's because it's not being released on PC
at all.
Yeah, still.
Nope. Mm-hmm. No, did you just read an announcement about PC? I only heard consoles.
Okay, smartass.
I'm just saying, okay.
So I need to have the conversation with the Major League Baseball Players Association as well as Sony for this one, huh?
Yes, you need to have a conversation with Sony San Diego.
And before you guys get on me in the freaking chat tonight, I know I need to play more games on PlayStation. Shut up, leave me alone.
I mean, as long as you can acknowledge it.
Austin, you can take a chance to answer the question. Are you going to be picking this one up?
Yes, I will be. I usually wait and get it on a cheaper price. But with the cross saves with the Nintendo and the PlayStation, I might have to double dip because nothing would be greater than taking my Switch and continuing my franchise or Road to the Show mode and then taking it back to my PlayStation. That is so exciting to me. I used to do this with the Vita, of course, and now I'm getting it on the Switch.
Memories.
I'm super stoked. Super stoked. I love MLB The Show.
What if that's the next? What is that the next freak announcement that Sony has that they're going to team up with Nintendo to make the next portable?
If Spartacus isn't even like it's not a streaming platform. It's not their answer to Game Pass. It's straight up just Vita 2. I would fucking cry.
I would cry. Announcement of the year right there.
I would be like, people are like, they need Game Pass. I'm like, you need to shut the fuck up. We're getting Vita 2.
I mean,
why not both? The Sony handheld. Why not both? Yeah, I wanted the Sony handheld.
Yeah, the Vita is like pretty far and away my favorite Sony console. So,
all right. This question is more for the audience than for you guys, because Austin kind of started answering the third question here. But what are your thoughts on the extended cross-platform options? I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Great, love it. No reason why you can't do it.
I'm so excited.
You already have to put this on other platforms. Just thank you for giving us the crossplay.
Yes. Yes.
There's really nothing else to say. This is in 2022. This shouldn't even be a debate anymore. Yes, you need to have crossplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I agree. Like, we're on this very tiny blue-white ball of like amazingness, I guess you could say. And why can't we play more video games with more friends?
Yeah.
Why can't we? Friends we don't even know we have yet. Shoot. Like just imagine. Just actually, I'm not gonna get all whimsical tonight. You guys have better things to talk about than me being a dreamer. Last up, though, will you double dip and purchase MLB The Show on more than one system to take advantage of the cross progression and crossplay? We already said yes. Looks like Austin will be getting it for PlayStation and Switch. Yep. I will also be getting it
for Xbox, so I'll have it on 3 consoles. I'll just be switching them back and forth.
This guy's a maniac. Look at this dude.
He's trying to get on the cover of MLB The Show 23.
Austin's
it's going to be Austin
the next
just holding all of the consoles smiling.
Wait, who was it? Austin's going to be like Gronkowski. He's going to have all the shit in his hand. He's going to accidentally break something. Yeah, Josh, you're probably just going to be a one-system person, though, aren't you?
Oh, 100%. This falls into the category Gran Turismo for me. I like it. I love what they're doing. It's just simply not a game for me. I don't want to be like, oh, I've outgrown baseball. I've become less of a baseball fan the older I've gotten, though, and much more into football and basketball. So, like, I would love to see Sony San Diego take a stab at, like, the NBA one day if it wasn't exclusive to 2K. I would love to see them. Like, if they took a stab at that, and I got, like, NBA The Show, holy shit, you would never hear me stop talking about it. I'd be all for that.
They could. It's not exclusive to 2K. EA
That's
just
true. EA
failed so many times.
Well, I mean, EA has failed. That's the correct statement there. I would love to see Sony San Diego take a stab at another sports game, though. Like, ideally, I'd love for them to make a Madden competitor. They're not going to be able to. So, yeah, do NBA The Show and then have me back.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get on to what we came here to do tonight, and that's talk about the big topic. And I am going to let you guys know right now. This is the one. It's February 1st, and man, like Sony is just oh, that's what that noise was.
This thing is like, I'm not even kidding. Like 8 pounds. Like, it's heavy. It's a heavy thing. That's that loud thud. So, I was like, how did you even knock this off?
So did it damage the floor is the question.
I don't know, actually. It might have. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was like, how in the world? Like, he knocked off the little things, which is expected, but he knocked this big ass thing off. I don't know how he did that.
I'm mad the Big Daddy didn't start fighting back.
He should have. I honestly, if the cat had landed right, if the Big Daddy fell on him, he would have died. I'm pretty sure. Like, it would have definitely broken his neck. It's that heavy.
Austin almost had to log out.
It's straight up. I thought I did. I was like, oh, fuck. What did he do?
Your cat had been up there fucking with everything all night. He'd been on the PS1 at one point. He was messing with the Stormtrooper helmet.
I didn't even hear him at all. Like, I did not know.
I was watching him. I was watching him. Oh man.
The big, you get a loud thud, went through the floor. I'm gonna have to replace new floors now.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this whole thing started here. It's time for our big topic tonight, and like I said, it's a big one. Sony is acquiring Bungie for the dollar amount of $3.6 billion. And you know what? Because there's people out there who love to have this little like zipping contest here. You know, I know it's not $70 billion. I know it's not. But guess what? $3.6 billion is nothing to sneeze at here. So let's go ahead and break on into this. Special thanks to Corey Derrick from our Boss Rush Network for his reporting on this one. You can read all of his articles, reviews, and catch more of his work on podcasts and editorials over at bossrush.net. All right, guys. So it seems that the battle for acquisitions is continuing into 2022. Just 2 weeks after the industry-shattering news that Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, Sony has struck back this week, hitting longtime Xbox fans where it hurts. I'm sorry, Josh.
It's okay. I'm saving my comments. This is why you have me here tonight.
That's true. Sony has acquired Bungie for $3.6 billion. Though the sticker price of the studio isn't quite as shocking, Xbox fans will feel it somewhere else. As the once Microsoft owned studio and creators of the Halo franchise are now playing for the other team. Dude. This deal seems to be more than meets the eye, though. However, because Bungie and Sony have both assured fans the popular MMO shooter Destiny and all future Bungie will remain multi-platform, staying on current platforms and developing for new ones in the future. The goal of the sale looks to be beyond video games. All right, now, before I move on for a second, this is something I've said. Austin, you've been here on this show repeatedly when I've said this. When you have your games on more accessible places, like Sony's been doing this on PC for a while, and now they're starting to actually, MLB The Show. This is the second year that's coming out on multiple platforms and stuff like that. When you are able to give more people accessibility to your product outside of your own ecosystem, everybody wins. Of course, the companies that produce this wins. Gamers win. Studios win. The potential for future games and IPs that have never even been thought of, studios and stuff like that. everybody wins. So
yeah.
remember how much flack we got for just asking the question, what if Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart comes to the PC? And remember how people had a meltdown about that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This shit's coming, guys. It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's coming in multiple different ways at this point.
Yeah, like pretty soon gamers are not going to know which way is up, and that's going to be a good thing because this is what we've wanted. Like think about the times when there actually truly was a console war. And what people always like, well, I wish this game was on my system versus over there, stuff like that. Like come on, like people we're getting there are less and less reasons now for people to buy more than one system because it's getting to the point where, oh, you don't have a PlayStation, Sony's got you covered. This game's coming out on Xbox. Oh, you don't have an Xbox? Microsoft got you covered because you can catch it on PC or you can catch it on Switch or you might be able to catch it on PlayStation. Who knows?
Cloud.
Stuff like that. Cloud, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, if I can interject for a minute here.
Go for it.
This deal, I know you said 3.6 billion is not a flashy number. I want to throw some things out there that have been sold for around that price. Lucasfilm was bought by Disney for $4 billion. The Star Wars franchise and Indiana Jones.
Wait. Repeat that.
Lucasfilm was bought by Disney for $4 billion.
Hot damn.
When Marvel Comics was bought by Disney, they were bought for $780 million. The Mojang deal was less than this purchase by Microsoft. And this is almost half of what Microsoft paid for Bethesda. On the surface, if you look at this and you're not considering the bigger picture, which I know we're going to get to here in a minute, you're going, they're paying for one IP that is divisive at best and has a dedicated, almost cult-like following. You're paying for the legacy of Bungie being one of the best shooter studios in history. They made Halo. For God's sake, without Bungie, Xbox is not a thing. Xbox completely fails without Bungie in its corner at launch. It flops. There's no way around that. And then on top of that, though, you're having the components that Sony needs a multiplayer studio. They need a dedicated multiplayer studio. I told LeRon and Austin before we started hitting record that personally I think this deal is more important to the industry and is a blueprint for how future acquisitions may work on both sides compared to the Bethesda and the Activision Blizzard deals. Like, when you go, because I think they're wildly different scenarios. This is more in line with the Mojang acquisition. It's like the love child of the Mojang acquisition and the original Activision publishing agreement for Destiny with Bungie. They are coming underneath. I think it's inarguable, but I'll say arguably just for conversation's sake, the best lineup of studios in the world under SIE. But they're going to be allowed to remain fully autonomous and do what they keep doing best. Now, when it says we're going to support multi-platform development, that does not immediately mean Xbox. I want everybody to take a deep breath because that does not mean Xbox. That also does not mean it's leaving Xbox. You don't say you're going to expand Destiny 2 to future platforms if you don't plan on developing for said platforms with other titles. That's my personal take on it. But I think the way that the Sony strategy is going, multi-platform at bare minimum means PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, whether that's Steam or the Epic Game Store, probably both at this point. Sony wants as much reach as possible. And I think that includes cloud, which is a component that Sony's not ready to talk about yet, because that's probably still a year or two away, quite frankly. I think you're still a little ways off on an xCloud competitor from Sony. But this is the first step towards making Spartacus, and making the overall vision that Herman Holst and Jim Ryan have laid out for PlayStation a reality. They wanted somebody that focused on games as a service. And it was made really clear in a GamesIndustry.biz interview yesterday with Jim Ryan. He was like, this is less about IP for us and more about a talent acquisition in a lot of ways. Similar to how the Battle.net, Diablo, and World of Warcraft teams helped Bungie when they were under the Activision umbrella being published by them, to understand what it means to make a live service title, to make a loot-based game, which Bungie's never done before, obviously. They will now get to advise internal PlayStation studios on the direction of how multiplayer should function. map development, map rotations. Like Sony doesn't really have studios in house that do that sort of stuff. And to be fair, Bungie has really struggled with that on the Destiny side from time to time. But you're also securing any future Bungie game will now have a PlayStation logo stamped next to it. Sony could give a shit if these are exclusive because they're going to have all that revenue coming in because the name Bungie means something. When you see the word Bungie, especially if you're an Xbox gamer, you associate that with quality. You associate that with a legacy. They've created Halo and Destiny, two huge, regardless of your opinions about Destiny. It's this sprawling fantasy sci-fi game with characters, a super deep lore that I've never seen in a shooter before, including in Halo, and very much has become kind of their magnum opus in a lot of ways. It's really the only AAA game that's done games as a service continuously, correctly, or at least high profile for years on end without completely falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
And they've reinvented the wheel a few times now. The latest one coming on the 22nd of this month. So the statement in and of itself that it's going to remain multi-platform, it's a win for Sony, it's a win for Bungie, it's a win for creativity, it's a win if you play on Xbox, if you play on Steam, if you're going to continue enjoying it on your PlayStation 4 or your PlayStation 5. Everybody has something to celebrate here. And I think honestly, the announcement yesterday is what you're going to see tip the scales in favor of crossplay more. No company has advocated for crossplay more than Bungie has. We know from reporting over at VentureBeat and from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg that a key part of the negotiations was that they would be allowed to develop for all platforms. Obviously, with Sony, you're probably looking at exclusive content in their future IP matter. You're looking at alphas. You're looking at betas. Maybe maps come a week or two early. Some special PS Plus skins, in-game credits, things like that. But you're still going to be able to enjoy this wherever you want to. Sony's going to reap all the profits of that. And we actually know now that Microsoft was still in negotiations as recently as 4 weeks ago to try and purchase Bungie. And I think it really came down to they had a choice. Do you go for Bungie and bring them home? And you have to compromise there, which I think sets off a whole shitstorm with Bethesda, frankly, who were not told that they could keep publishing. And I understand that. Personally, in my mind, the way that deals work is you don't pay billions of dollars to put your things on other platforms. But with multiplayer-based games, especially with the reports that matter, is going to be more akin to an Overwatch, an answer to Overwatch and Valorant. You have to put those. I think the first Titanfall has proved that. Yeah. You have to have those on as far-reaching as possible. And Sony's going to sit there and go, listen, games as a service and microtransactions drive so much more than a $60 sticker price. That you will make infinitely more from that than you will from selling like 2 million more consoles. Okay?
Yep,
you will make because then you're getting them into the ecosystem. If this is on cloud, cool. You're getting them to buy a Spartacus subscription. They're buying DualShocks. Maybe they are buying a higher level of Spartacus, like the Spartacus Ultimate package, just like with Game Pass Ultimate. There's so many possibilities here that you're doing, and I think this is the future. I think you're going to see Microsoft adjust the Activision Blizzard deal if it goes through, and that's a big if right now, I think this is what shifts the needle for Call of Duty to stay on PlayStation. I think this is why that statement was issued a couple weeks ago by Sony saying, we hope that Microsoft will honor the tradition of these games and keep them multi-platform. This deal in the works is why it happened. I think that's why that statement was made, because the Bethesda deal went through. Sony didn't say anything. They knew their agreements would be honored and stuff. But when you're talking about removing Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo, it's a completely different story than losing a single-player RPG. Yeah, and I think multiplayer always changes the conversation. And again, like this is such a monumental deal. I said it before we got started that I think that this is more important than Bethesda. I think this is more important than Zynga, than Activision Blizzard. This is the model for how publishing acquisitions will work going forward. Yeah. Bungie had to negotiate a very specific deal. Sony overpaid. I won't even say they overpaid, but they paid above what Bungie requested. We know that back in the summer of 2020 that Microsoft was nearing a deal for Bungie, and Bungie wanted $2 billion and to retain their publishing division. And Microsoft basically said, we're going to wait and see. The Bethesda deal happens. Obviously, Bungie eventually goes with Sony. That is a response to Bethesda. This is not a response to Activision Blizzard. This deal took 6 months to close, from what we understand. And even then, it wasn't a done deal until that morning. The ink literally dried, and then it got reported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, these deals don't just happen overnight for massive, massive things. Like Activision Blizzard, that's a very specific, special circumstance. Because they're facing possibly falling apart if that Microsoft acquisition does not go through.
That's true, yeah.
Bungie, on the other hand, though, had to have known when the Activision deal got announced, oh, we can really push. If you really want us, guys, you're gonna let us retain our freedom and ownership of our IPs, or we're not doing it. And they had the power to say that in a now depleted FPS landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at this overall, like, this is, and I mean, now Sony is going to get to reap the benefits of the future multimedia expansions. I know this is further down in our doc, but you look at the things that Sony owns, and it's not just PlayStation. They have Sony Pictures, Sony Television. They own Funimation, Crunchyroll. I believe they own parts of Aniplex, the studio that currently animates Demon Slayer.
Yep.
I've said it on Tower Casuals for about a year now, because last February or March is when Bungie says, we're expanding. We're opening an office in Amsterdam in 2022. That is going to be the one that handles our publishing division and that helps with our multimedia initiatives. We want to push into TV, into film, into comics, into other visual medias for this franchise. I would be shocked if we get to the Game Awards and we do not have a trailer on hand about a teaser for a Destiny anime show. I'd be shocked if you get to the Game Awards at this point. Because this is just Sony printing money at this point. And it's not just about Destiny. Like, this is so much bigger than one game. They're more than happy to say...
The scope is wide open here. You know, like, after I read information about this, I was like, man, I'm not sure who made the best power play here. I'm not sure if Sony was the one that made the best power play here, or if it was Bungie that made the best power play here.
It's Bungie, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I see it now.
And this is a move just like the Bethesda move and the Mojang move. This is a move not just for right now. This is a move for the future. Sony, I feel like I can finally say this, is looking ahead. The Housemarque acquisition and the Insomniac ones were about now. Let's get our value partners in-house.
Austin, give Josh a round of applause, because the last time he was on here, he said Sony is going to hell in a handbasket.
I did.
It was after Bethesda.
It was after the Bethesda acquisition. It was impossible, I think, not to feel discouraged as a fan of the platform when you see that really all we had in terms of first-party software in 2021 was Destruction All-Stars. Which we talked about multiplayer games being dead on arrival. Let me tell you something. Yes. I don't even know if that arrived. You had Returnal.
I don't feel like it did, because like Austin played it. Mm-hmm. I didn't. Austin didn't play it for like what? You only played it like 2 months later, didn't you? You didn't play it day one.
No, it was definitely a couple months later. It
wasn't day one. And then the sad part is like Austin's like, yeah, I just finally played this for the first time, and then 2 weeks later they're shutting down the servers, and it's like, huh?
Yeah. It's wild. And then you have Returnal, which, while a very high quality game, I have nothing but praise for what Housemarque did, is still a very much a niche game. Mm-hmm. And then you had Ratchet and Clank, and that's about it. And I fully understand Gran Turismo and Horizon were planned for last year. They slipped out, obviously, to Q1. Ghostwire was probably supposed to be out as well. None of that happened. Totally understand that. We're in unprecedented times. Mm-hmm. But I think that announcing this as you're about to go into a month of straight PlayStation greatness, of Horizon Forbidden West, Sifu, Elden Ring is multi-plat, but I mean, come on, most console players are probably playing it on PlayStation. And then Gran Turismo 7, as well as Forspoken and Ghostwire Tokyo in the next couple months. You are feasting. This is like the bang. This is the shot heard around the world. This is something literally nobody saw coming. I think it's fair to assume that most of us, if Bungie, since they were so recently independent, if they ever went back to a corporate umbrella, it was going to be Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because Pete Parsons, Jason Jones, they still really like Phil over there. Phil does charity streams with them all the time in office. He's always online playing fucking Destiny. Always. Like this, I don't think this dude plays other games on his Xbox. And to see them then go there, as an Xbox diehard, I think the word that you would use is crushing. But you feel that for about 15 seconds and realize these are real people. These aren't just IPs being thrown around. They are going to have the funding to do everything that they want to do and not have to cut corners, which is what we've heard a lot about with Ninja Theory, with Insomniac, with Double Fine after their respective acquisitions. Obsidian has said it, Housemarque has said it. You have the creative freedom and the budget to do it. You don't have to go overprice your microtransactions. You don't have to do Kickstarters. Yeah. You know, look how much Double Fine did, like 3 or 4 different rounds of funding for Psychonauts 2. And that took like 8 years to make. They took boss fights out at one point. You're not going to face that if you're Bungie now. You sold big. You sold big. You sold at the height. And that's going to drive all future prices up. Yeah, you may end up having sold on the low end. Like the Altman family has to be looking at the Bethesda sale going, God damn it, right about now. Going, we probably could have gotten double for this. But I think it's also important to realize that you have to go somewhere where you know that you're going to be taken care of and you're going to be valued.
You're going to be taken care of. You're going to be valued.
Yeah, and you feel a need. You feel a need.
Yes.
It's not a trophy sale. You know, the Bethesda acquisition for Microsoft filled a very heavy need that they needed. They didn't have those dynamic single-player games. They got them. They're getting them from Machine Games. They're getting them from id. They're getting them from Arcane. It reinforced the Western RPG legacy of the Xbox with Bethesda and ZeniMax being there. Bungie is filling a key hole for PlayStation, which is where the fuck are the multiplayer games? You have the best single-player portfolio in history right now, but you can't make a good multiplayer game to save your skin. They can now help on Factions 2. They can help on Ghost of Tsushima's Legends mode, because Sucker Punch is right there in Seattle. They can help advise if Sony Santa Monica's rumored sci-fi game has a multiplayer component. I guarantee you that they're helping with it. They're probably going to talk with Jade Raymond's team. They're going to talk with, I keep forgetting the name of the studio, but the former Black Ops devs that made a studio.
Deviation.
Yes, Deviation.
They're going to partner with the ex-Bungie devs that went and made a studio and signed a partnership with Sony. They're going to work with them. There is so much here. We will no longer be, just like we have to stop the jokes pretty soon about Microsoft has no games. There's no good single-player games. We all on the other side of the aisle now have to go, guys, Sony is looking really good. Now if we could just fix party chat, they'd be really good. So
yes, hell yes.
There is nothing but wins, and this is the rare acquisition. With the Bethesda one, there was a clear winner. With Activision Blizzard, I think there's clear winners. Here, literally everybody wins. This is a one-of-a-kind deal here. This isn't just, we're going to keep the Minecraft universe on your platforms. Like Minecraft Dungeons did come to PlayStation and to the Switch, remember. But this is, we're committing to making our IPs multi-platform, and whatever form that takes, you have to be appreciative of it no matter what, I think. Because this is a big deal for Sony themselves to admit. We want them to keep having that reach. This is absolutely probably not what they wanted to do, but they realized they had to compromise, or Phil Spencer's going to go, fuck it, I'll compromise, let's do it. Multi-platform, you got it. Windows 10, cloud. We've got 2 Xboxes you can support. That's multi-platform, right, guys? And technically, that is. But
it is, yeah.
When you have somebody, and I love Phil dearly. I think that PlayStation's finally living out his ideology. When we all get to play, we all win. And this is a point that I made about the Activision purchase with Microsoft is if you really believe that, you're going to leave things like Call of Duty and Overwatch on the table for everybody. Just like that. Jim Ryan notes in his interviews that he's done, this fan base is rabid. The immediate reaction of the Destiny community, even from PlayStation fans, was, God damn it, there's exclusives again. Because we all remember Destiny 1 and the beginning of 2. And how Bungie swore up and down after they got out. The first thing they said after leaving Activision was, we're on our own, we're going free to play, and there's no more exclusives to any platform, and we will never do it again in this franchise. And we were all scared, oh my god, are they walking this back? It's been 3 years. Are we already getting this walk back? Thank God, no.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
I'm gonna say this like we got a few key points to go over real fast here.
I know I just blew through everything. I'm sorry.
No. Actually, I feel like you need to be a co-host on Crossroads because goddamn, like you just did my job for me. That was amazing. I just sat there. I was like, I just shook my head and like dealt with comments. Speaking of comments, by the way, Rach Bart Moss, who is a longtime viewer here, thank you, bro. He definitely agreed on some of your points as well. Like he said, I won't lie, I do feel like Sony acquiring them is arguably far more valuable acquisition than the Microsoft deal, and we're talking about the Activision deal. We're not talking about Bethesda.
Yeah, no, but Bethesda's over and done with. That is over and done with at this point. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Now here's a question though. Do you think because for the last couple of weeks we were saying Sony has to do something and be reactionary? Do you think this was a reactionary move, or do you think this was planned, precise, and the timing was just right?
The timing is just right. This was in the works. We know for a fact now this was in the works for 6 months.
Yeah.
They were talking to multiple parties. It is not just like they woke up last July and said, "Hey, Sony, we want to be acquired." They were listening to pitches for a couple of years from Sony and Microsoft. I imagine EA tried to get in on it. Tencent or Net, they have the NetEase connection. I imagine they tried to get in on this. I guarantee you Google tried before Stadia shut down.
Yep.
So,
All right. One of the key points here is Bungie's expertise can boost the overall community building at Sony Interactive Entertainment. Herman Hulst actually said that Bungie's technical expertise coupled with their track record of building highly engaged communities make them a natural fit for collaboration with PlayStation Studios. We're excited to make plans to share skills and expertise and to unlock potential and having the brilliant minds at Bungie under the PlayStation roof. As Josh said just moments ago here earlier. Also, another key point here is Bungie is set to go Hollywood. Like Bungie's had big plans for a hot minute. If you guys don't think Bungie's had plans for a hot minute, just look at their Destiny trailers. Jesus Christ!
Nobody makes a hype trailer like Bungie.
And it breaks my heart too because Monster Hunter trailers are the shit, and they're not Destiny quality. They're not.
It's and I mean this isn't a new ambition of theirs either. You go all the way back to the Halo 3 ad campaign, which I still think is one of the best ad campaigns ever done for a game. They had a mixture of the live action trailers from Neil Blomkamp, and they had the diorama trailers, the Starry Night trailer, the whole CG one. They wanted to do this with Halo. Peter Jackson at one point was attached to help write and direct a Halo movie. And that fell apart.
I remember that.
They wanted that made for years. So for them to be doing this, I mean, don't forget they did live action trailers for both Destiny 1 and 2. We used to get, and we in fact got one during the Game Awards. We got a live action trailer. This is nothing new. If that is a fraction of what they can do, imagine if Sony puts the actual budget into this and it's actually something that people want to watch, unlike Uncharted.
Yeah, to tack on to this key point, CEO Pete Parsons said that both Bungie and Sony Interactive Entertainment believe that game worlds are only the beginning of what our IPs will become, and in our original universes will have immense potential. And with SIE support, we will propel Bungie into becoming a global multimedia entertainment company dedicated to delivering our own creative vision. Dude.
All I'm going to say is if you keep giving me gorgeous lore anthologies like this every year, I'll be happy. That's all I want. I want to keep getting these pleather-bound ones with this, like the gorgeous art inside. I want to keep getting these. I just happen to have this seriously sitting on my desk for Tower Casuals. I want to keep getting something like that. Like they're already going there. Like we've had Destiny comics before at the beginning of D2. Sony has a relationship with Dark Horse Comics that I think we overlook a lot. They've done Horizon, God of War comics. They've done stuff with The Last of Us. There is no reason to believe this will not be the next property as soon as the ink is dry. Bungie, Pete Parsons, here's our good friends over at Dark Horse and our friends at Crunchyroll and Funimation. They have propositions for you guys. You should listen to them.
Yeah. The last key point here from this topic is Sony is intent on building up outside of the single player experiences for gamers. PlayStation has become known for its blockbuster single-player games such as Spider-Man, The Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima. But last May, Sony said it planned to develop more service-led experiences within its first-party roster for release both on and off console, in line with its increasing focus on mobile and PC releases. Just some things to note here. Sony has often talked about free-to-play, games as a service, and multi-platform experiences being a significant growth driver for PlayStation. And this was written by a partners analyst at Nico, Daniel Ahmad, explaining why Sony targeted Bungie to help expand its live service offerings. You know what? When I woke up Monday morning, when I woke up Monday morning and saw this news, I was like, "Am I being pranked right now?" Austin, remember, I was in the chat and I was like, "Is this real?" I was like, "Is this real?"
I was driving down the highway when my phone started blowing up, and I started getting texts from my Destiny group, thinking, "Oh, okay, like that they're wanting to run some stuff tonight." And then I started getting texts from other friends who I only talk to about game stuff, and I started seeing the DMs coming in, and I finally looked at a stoplight about a half hour after it started, and the only words I could make out on my screen were "holy shit" and Bungie, and I was like, "Oh no, oh god, did somebody else do a sexual misconduct? Oh my god, what possibly could have prompted this? Did they put out a trailer? Did I miss something? Have they announced something? And then my mind went to, have they been bought? Have they been bought? And so I'm dreading for the next 20 minutes till I can actually sit down and look at my notifications. Fuck, please do not be somebody in China. Please do not be somebody in China. I felt the sadness for about 5 seconds and then screamed because I'm like, yes, they are going to get the attention, the budget, and the care that a creative team like that deserves. If Sony stays out of the way and lets them do the storytelling as they've been doing, this is a slam dunk acquisition.
Which honestly, Sony does not like to meddle. Like Sony typically only meddles when they think something is dying on the vine. I feel like this happened. I mean, sometimes Sony kind of gives people too far of a leash, and certain companies just kind of like die themselves, you know. But at the same time,
Media Molecule.
Yeah, I will say I think Sony's definitely changed their approach since I think the PS3 taught them a lot of lessons, right? We know that God of War and Horizon were both hard sells for PlayStation leadership. But I think the success of those games has...
Days Gone was a hard sell from what we've heard.
Days Gone was a hard sell, and apparently...
It was a hard crash, too.
Yeah. It wasn't what it was cracked up to be, and I mean, I think that was a rare misfire last generation from what I think it's arguably the best lineup you've ever seen exclusive to a console. Why wouldn't you want to expand that reach? That's silly to not want to expand that. More people should get to experience your games. I get that there will always... I think we're moving away from console exclusives and into ecosystem exclusives. I've said it before, but I don't know entirely if we're going to still have physical hardware next generation, or is it going to all be cloud-based? We are rapidly moving towards that. I got an email from AT&T the other day asking if I want to upgrade my internet from gigabit fiber to 5 gig. We are rapidly progressing towards that.
Yeah.
And I want to read, if I can, on the note of going into games as a service.
Do it.
Games Industry Biz did the interview that I've been referencing with Jim Ryan. And Jim Ryan says, the way people play games has changed a lot the past few years. We created wonderful properties over the course of the last 25 years with characters people love and resonate the world over. Offering the opportunity to enjoy those experiences in a completely different way is something we are excited about. I can't go into details today, but we have an amazing roadmap on how to do that. I would back us to do live service games ourselves, but when you have the potential to have a partner like Bungie, who has been there, done it all before, learned the lessons, and have this wonderful, brilliant team who is there and has the potential to help us, we think we can take something that would have taken a certain number of years and significantly decrease the time it will take to get it right. Absolutely. Nail on the head right there. Drop the mic. It's over. That is why this acquisition happened right there. They are planning for the future, and they're hoping to speed up their timeline. And there's nobody better to do that with when you're planning for livable games. Games basically becoming a platform. like we've seen Halo Infinite become. And if I can use a Microsoft example, I think that if you look at that, you want Ghost of Tsushima to become something livable like that. The Legends mode, I would not be shocked to see be standalone. We've heard the rumors about Factions 2 being standalone. This enables you to do that now. You can borrow like 15 Bungie engineers and say, show us how to do that. How do you do regular content updates for a game like this and not just release it, wave your hands and say, well, we're done. If it dies, it dies. How do you keep supporting this? How do you keep players engaged in your ecosystem? I think that's the first question here. And there's so much you can do in a game like Ghost of Tsushima, or that you can do with Spider-Man, now with Wolverine coming into the mix, with the Spider-Men game coming. There's so much you can do.
Spider-Man, I like that.
I really wish that's what they would have called it, because that's the first. When Peter and Miles meet, that's the name of the comic, is Spider-Man. All joking aside, though, I really do think like this is the future. This is the future. Microsoft kind of predicted it with the Mojang acquisition. Sony's following it up 8 years later with probably the most important acquisition of the last couple of years. I would say at least since Bethesda. Bethesda shook the industry in a way we'd never seen. This, I think, is more important than the Activision one, though.
If the Activision Blizzard acquisition made waves, and this one definitely created a freaking tsunami.
So I would almost reverse it, because I think when we look at these, baseline, you look at the IP that comes immediately. Everybody's thoughts with Activision Blizzard, what happens to Warcraft? What happens to Call of Duty? Overwatch, Diablo? Here, they're like, oh, Destiny, because all they think about is 2014. They think about fall 2014 and the initial launch. Yeah. They might think Curse of Osiris with Destiny 2, which was another extremely low point. That's death threats were being hurled on Reddit and Twitter, etc. Luke Smith has talked, they didn't know if they would have a game the next year, and that's part of why Activision was ready to drop it. And it really did become that like kind of indie darling of, we're going to go off and do our own thing, but now we're going to cash in. Our people are going to receive the benefits. They're going to receive a 50% payout on their stock options as soon as the deal is finished, which it hasn't completely gone through yet. It'll probably take a couple months to fully go through. And then they'll receive the other 50% like 2 years from now. So it's almost like a gold set of handcuffs in a lot of ways, but it's clear that everybody won here. Sony is getting their long-term partner. Bungie is getting to continue making the worlds and the stories that they want to. And Phil Spencer gets to keep wasting his time on Destiny like I do.
I love how Josh like kind of read my mind, because I was getting ready to ask what are your thoughts on the sale, and I feel like Josh is just what you just said just now like basically encapsulates the whole thing. Yeah. Like basically I couldn't have said it any better than you have on that. It's a win. It's a win.
Yeah,
it's a win.
And you know the magic about this is, as far as gamers are concerned, nobody's bitching about this one. Nobody's like, "Oh, this was a bad idea," and how dare they do this? And no one's really bitching about that. I mean, like Xbox fanboys, and I'm calling them fanboys like lovingly.
Yes.
I feel your guy. I feel your guys' pain. Like when you hear Bungie, all you think of is Microsoft, because you know what?
Yeah.
An entire new console brand was launched on the back of one game called Halo Combat Evolved.
Master Chief is literally one of like probably the 6 or 7 most iconic characters in gaming history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Master Chief is up there with fucking Lara Croft and Pac-Man.
Yeah, there is nobody more synonymous with the Xbox, at the very least. I would say even with the 2000s of gaming than Master Chief.
Yeah.
Oh, they're picking up the trash outside. I was like, what the hell is that noise outside my door?
It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Race answered this question too. He says in the chat, I'm okay with it depending on how independently Bungie is able to operate outwards. We've pretty much got the roadmap. Bungie basically has 99.8% autonomy with what they can do here.
For the immediate future, we know that nothing is changing. Destiny has announced its expansions through the end of the Light and Dark saga, which takes us to 2024 with major releases, early 2025 with seasons. Now, Destiny 3, I think, is a huge question mark. They've always said, we're not doing a Destiny 3. You have to. This engine cannot hold up much longer. This is a modified version of the Halo Reach engine, if that gives you any idea. This is a 10-year-old engine. we really need to replace it. I was really hoping we'd be leaving the old consoles behind soon, but they clearly want to finish out the current story arc.
Well, I mean, shit. They're with Sony now. Shit,
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5's out there.
I do think like long term, because I actually believe they've made a new engine in house. Don't quote me on that. Matter is being kept really secret, but it's not on the Destiny engine. I know that it's on a newer engine. And some of those tools have been deployed in the back end of Destiny. I think Matter is really, whenever that gets announced, which could be as soon as like a September state of play, if that's when they do their major show again, you could get a teaser for it. Maybe we know it's in a playable state now, and it has employees excited there. I think that's really your first test of, okay, is this going to come to multiple platforms? Or when you say multi-platform, does that mean we're going to do PS5 and PC with a delayed release to Xbox, possibly? Or do we let it live in the cloud? Like, how do you do this? I think if it's a fully multiplayer game, or if it's an experience like Destiny, that will give you your indication. Because if it has if it has a strong single player component, a la Halo, I would not be shocked to see that be exclusive. And maybe 2 years down the line, kind of like they just did with God of War, hey, we're gonna toss a bone over to Xbox. We've made all the money we can make off this game now. You guys should get to experience it too. And I made the case on Tower Casuals. I would love to see Microsoft do that with Double Fine. I'd love for them to say, okay, in terms of the Bethesda purchase, we want to keep Starfield to ourselves. We want to keep Elder Scrolls. We want those premium franchises. Dishonored 3, Wolfenstein 3. Hey, Sony, you guys enjoy these games too. We had them for a couple months exclusive. They're on Game Pass if anybody wants them. But here, for the people who can only afford one console, you guys get to deserve to see how these stories end. Or you get to experience, you get to deserve to see the next step that Shinji Mikami is taking over at Tango. There's so many things you could do. Does that, and I said, I don't know how this reevaluates our value of studios that have been acquired. Does this mean Obsidian could now pitch LucasArts on, hey, let us make Knights of the Old Republic 3. We've wanted to for years. Let's work out a deal between Microsoft and Sony to where maybe it's a timed exclusive for 6 to 12 months on Microsoft, and then Microsoft allows LucasArts to publish it to the PlayStation. Just like we see MLB as the technical publisher of the show on Xbox, not Sony. PlayStation Studios does not actually publish it to the Xbox. That's kind of the wild thing. I think that's why the Game Pass deal works.
Yeah.
So there's so much here, and that's why I say, I think this is an industry-shaking move in more ways than we're really comprehending right now for a small purchase. It will be dwarfed. Jeff Keighley has said there's more coming in the next couple of months. IOI has been a hot target. Remedy, Austin and I were talking earlier, I think Remedy is going off the market sometime this year. There's been the persistent rumors about Capcom and Square Enix. This, I think, gives us a framework to see what happens if Sony acquires another publisher. I can only hope that Microsoft loosens up a little bit with some of their stuff. You want to keep things exclusive, of course. Mm-hmm. You want parts of it to be exclusive. But I think with Sony, you're seeing people are twisting this a little bit differently, and rightfully so, because they don't care if Destiny stays on other platforms. They don't care if the IPs do. They're getting the help they need to further their first-party brands that they already have established. That's the important. They're getting all the multimedia funding, all that. They're going to reap all that benefits, and this deal is going to pay for itself. The question is, does Bungie force their way out in 7 years like they have with the other two? That's the other question, because they they made the deal to leave Microsoft in 2007, formerly left in 2010. They got out of the Activision deal in 2019, which was about 7 years after the inception of that deal, which happened in 2011, 2012-ish. The joke has now become, because 7 is Bungie's thing. That's like a huge inside joke at Bungie. Does that now happen here? And hopefully it doesn't. Sony's going to treat them in a way they've never been treated before. There's no Don Matrick to fuck it up. Yeah. There's no Peter Moore to accidentally bumble things. Bill Gates isn't getting involved. Bobby Kotick isn't buying a 15th yacht with the profits from the Eververse here. He's not siphoning profits from the Eververse, okay?
Yeah.
You're going to be treated in a way under Sony that you've never been treated before. And you're going to be treated like the kings that you are. You're going to be allowed to do the things you've never been able to do, the things you've dreamed of. And that's where Bungie is best, when they have the creative freedom to just do whatever. So, I'm done with my soliloquy, I promise.
Oh, no. You're good, man. No, dude, we love it when you're on, because, like, you bring the conversation. Love it.
Bungie's my all-time favorite studio. Like, if Austin. There was a week for me to talk a lot, this was it.
It's cool. It's cool. Hey, when I was playing the show, I was like, man, well, you must have been reading the thought that was coming up in front of my mind, because I was like, man, we need someone that wants to talk about this. Corey was already busy, but I already know last night that Corey also had linked up with you for a special Tower Casuals episode.
Oh yeah, have to.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you were in my brain on this one. I just didn't know if I was going to be able to get you in time, but you got me first. So there you go. Austin, any final thoughts from you?
No, I think Josh summed it up pretty well. And
Sorry.
I mean, I've been picking Josh's brain. Picking Josh's brains the last couple of days, all about it. So
I feel like Josh is the fucking Borg. Like he's downloaded us or something.
No, but I mean, Jim Ryan. I mean, as much crap as I think we've all given him. He said we bought Bungie. Everything's coming multi-platform, and made that right off the bat. And I think that was the important thing, because that
is a PR slam dunk. That's Steph Curry from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
that is a
I'm going to say this. Because we've name dropped Jim Ryan a couple of times tonight here on this episode of the show. Here's what I'm going to say about this, because people seem to be always mad at Jim Ryan for stuff that goes on at PlayStation. But you know what? Jim Ryan does his nice little thing. I like to call exercising patience. And when you have patience, shit like this pays off.
Yeah. Yep.
So you know what, guys? Like, shut your mouths and let this man do his job, and you'll wind up walking away happy.
Yeah, Jim Ryan's not a flashy name. He's not a guy you trot out on stage like Sean Layden or Shuhei, Jack Tretton, Reggie. Yeah, he's definitely not a Phil Spencer. Okay, he's not. This guy is not queuing up on LFG for Destiny raids. Let me tell you something. I'd be surprised if Jim Ryan knew what LFG stood for. Quite frankly,
I can't remember what was the last game Jim Ryan said. The last game Jim Ryan said he played was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That was the last game he said.
He lied. Huh? He's lying.
That was back. You think he lied back?
What other famous Insomniac franchise that was thrown aside makes a cameo in Ratchet and Clank? Jim?
I'm telling you, Jim Ryan was probably mad that Xbox bought ABK just because Candy Crush is going away. That's probably the only game that he actually plays.
Oh, dude, that's his everybody has a bathroom game, okay? For some of us, it's Candy Crush. For others, it's Bejeweled. Okay, some of us have other standards. Some of us support EA in a very, very minor way through our mobile game.
I'm through with you guys. I'm done here.
Get us out of here. Get us out of here.
Let's go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah,
damn.
I think we need to wrap up.
Well, that's our show. As always, we'd like to give a big thanks to you for tuning in to Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. Thanks tonight to our wonderful guest, Josh Finney. Dude, we couldn't have done this one without you, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to get to come on and talk some PlayStation with you guys, and could not let the Bungie acquisition go untalked about.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Hell yeah. All right, before we head out, here's how you can get connected with everybody here on tonight's show. Josh, you go first. You have it.
Well, as we've name dropped a couple of times, you can find me every single week, Thursday night, sometime late Thursday night, early Friday morning on podcast feeds and YouTube. I do Tower Casuals, a show about Destiny, each and every week with our friend Corey Dierig. It has become much more of a Bungie show, I feel like, as of late, because of the Activision purchase and now the Bungie purchase. But we break down everything happening in the game. We do a lore corner. We talk loadouts. We talk weapons. Went through and did a raid prep guide last week for the Witch Queen raid coming up in about a month. Talked loadouts, essential things to get before this year ends, etc., etc. And you can always find me on Twitter at Josh_Finn with 2 N's.
All right, Austin, you're up.
You can find me at PlayStation on Twitter, Instagram, PSN, all that stuff. And you can catch me here. And that's all I really got to promote.
All right. And as always, you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at Exodus803. Also, that's my Twitch and YouTube channels. And my gamer tag, my PlayStation Network gamer tag is Exodus803. And my Xbox Live gamer tag is Exodus0803. So don't forget. I'm also part of the panel for the Boss Rush podcast, which happens on Wednesday nights on the Boss Rush Network Twitch channel, and I am the main host for Wednesday's Boss Rush After Dark, which if you don't know about it, you may want to go to bossrush.net and check out the Patreon information, and you might get to see what's up. Before we close out, check out a few things that are going over on Boss Rush right now, including the January 31st edition of the Boss Rush banner, which Silmos, the Kilty Gamer, asks, who else likes listening to video game music? I'm going to raise my hand right now because I have a dedicated playlist of over 500 tracks. That's nothing but gaming music. Nothing but video game music, from the 8-bit chiptune stuff to all your crazy ass freaking music game selections. So yeah, I'm that guy. Also, my Boss Rush After Dark co-host Stephanie Klimov has a new review up for the game Escape from Life Incorporated. And, if you like the MCU, we have a special treat for you. Because the very first episode of Standard Definition's Marvel Cinematic Universe Rewatch has kicked off now, and we invite you all to join Corey, Mark, and myself for our retro take, starting with the movie that started all, Iron Man. Check it out. You will have some fun. You will love it. All that and more can be found over at bossrush.net. So head over there and check out more editorials and shows from our ever-growing family of creators and contributors. And if you like to talk about games, media, sports, food, much more, why not join the Discord, the Boss Rush Network Discord, where there's even a Crossroads PlayStation podcast server on the Discord just for you fans. Austin, how the hell do I get through an entire show and get tongue-tied on the way out the door? How?
On the title.
Yeah, on the title of my show. As always, you can chat with us and keep the conversation going by hitting us up on Twitter at ps_Crossroads to dish on more news, events, and topics while we are getting ready for the next installment of Crossroads, which means we will be back next week. This has been episode 68 of Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. Come back and join us where, as always, part of the Boss Rush family of games, we want you all to go out and have a great night and always go out there and play games and be better. Take care of yourselves. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.